Hello， 各位亲爱的观众朋友们，欢迎回来。那下一场比赛将由 PSI 对阵到 Team Liquid。在比赛开始前，让我们和 Team Liquid 战队来连线一下吧。Hello Mana， 欢迎接受到我们的赛前采访。那对于你们这个队伍整个常规赛来一个总结吧，觉得你们队伍常规赛的 MVP 是谁呢
？Hello Mana, let's have a short interview before the match. Please summarize your team performance during the regular season, and who do you think is your team's MVP?
I think we did very good. Well, first of all, welcome. Hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, I think our entire team did quite well. I think it's fair to say that the MVP is obviously going to be Clem for the entire season. So I'm happy with the performance of the team, and I think we went to the playoffs together as a team.
首先跟大家打个招呼，大家好。我觉得我们的常规赛呢表现是非常的好啊，全员表现都很好。当然，我们的 MVP 呢，我觉得应该是 Clem 选手，但是我对于整个队伍的表现都感觉到非常的满意。
既然说到 Clem， 其实他也是刚刚获得了我们 EWC 的一个世界冠军哦。他的 TVZ 和 TVP 都非常的强，但是我们之前在 EWC 里面正好没有看到他的 TVT， 而上一届 WTL 虽然 Clem 的表现非常出色，但是最后也是倒在了 TVT 的对抗当中。所以我们想问一下，之后的话 Clem 有对于这方面做特别针对性的训练吗
？Okay, speaking of the devil, in the EWC 2024. Clem won the championship with outstanding performance. His TVZ and TVP are very strong. But in the last year's WTL playoffs, he lost the TVT eventually. So we would like to know if he has done any special training afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, if you're practicing for Esports World Cup, you definitely have to practice all matchups. You have to take care of Marus and everybody else in there. So it's a good thing that Clem is showing only TVZ and TVP in the EWC because we have a lot of stuff prepared for turn versus turn for WTL now.
我觉得作为一个选手来讲，肯定是要应对各种情况，都是要练的，要狠狠的练，特别是跟马入这样的选手去对练啊。也只能说他确实是很擅长很擅长 TVZ 和 TVP， 这也是他的强项之一。
跟马入选手对练的 TVT， 那想必实力肯定非常强劲，很期待他的表现。那在常规赛里面，你的出场次数不多，但是获得了4胜2负的一个好成绩，你是你们队伍的秘密武器吗
？Now let's back to you. You didn't play many games in the regulars, yet you have 4 wins and 2 losses. So it was actually good result. Are you the secret weapon of Team Liquid?
I wouldn't say I'm the secret weapon, but if the team really needs me, I can definitely step up. I think we have a great team of all players and we can surprise everybody. I think we have a very good all round of players. So if the team needs me, I'm there.
不算是吧，但是如果队伍需要我站出来的话，我肯定会全力以赴的。我觉得我们整个队伍全体队员其实都状态不错，大家都会为了队伍去努力。这个取决于具体场景吧。如果真的是到了胜负的一刻落到我肩膀上的时候，我肯定会努力站出来的。
我们也相信你的决心。那下一场就要对阵到 PSI 了，觉得他们队伍里面对你们最有威胁的选手是哪一位？有没有狠话要对他们说呢
？The next round you'll be facing Team PSI. So which player do you think is your biggest threat? Any trash talk?
Any trash talk? I mean, we have a world champion right now in Team Liquid, and the second best star in the world is Incure, who ended up in the 5th place in EWC. So I think we don't need any trash talk. They just need to fear us, and we're going to be crushing them for sure.
说垃圾话吗？行吧，我们这边有世界最强的 Clem， 还有第2的 Cure， 他们应该怕我们啊。
哇，确实有世界第1、第2就是有底气。好的，那最后一个问题关于你的，就是明天你要跟我们中国的江南狗王 F91打表演赛了，你准备的如何呢
？Okay, so last question. Tomorrow you'll be facing the legendary F91 in a show match. Are you well prepared?
Absolutely, yes. I cannot wait to win the match. I was a big fan of F91 back in Brood War. A lot of respect for the player, but tomorrow he's going down.
我肯定是准备好了呀。我本身也是 F91的一个大粉丝，而且我很高兴能够在明天跟他一起比赛。不过我是绝对不会手下留情的，等死吧。
好的 ，F91江南狗王听到了没有？胆死吧！非常感谢玛娜接受到我们的采访，祝愿你们今天取得好成绩，也祝愿明天的表演赛你可以打死 F91。好，感谢。
Thank you. That'll be all.
Thank you very much.
好的，那我们接下来就要把画面交给我们比较专业的解说席，我们的江南狗王出场吧。
And we are back. Hope you're able to make the most out of the break earlier on. That we have, well, I'm not going to say we just wrapped up our first match, but we have finished our first match of the evening, and now we're going on to our second one. Psystorm Na'Vi was able to take out Platinum Heroes R8. They will now be facing Team Liquid, who, as Mana has just pointed out, is a pretty terrifying team to come up against. They have the best Terran player in the world, as well as the second best Terran player in the world on that team.
Some fire.
Don't ask about the other races, but
some fire coming out of Mana there. Honestly, I really liked the interview. It was a really fun interview, and he had some really good responses to some questions as well, to some hard-hitting questions, and he was ready for it. So big shout to Mana with how he handled himself there, and I'm looking forward to how he does perform as well, whether it's tomorrow in the show match or even if he is fielded here tonight. Now, Team Liquid, they have some star players. They have Cure, they have Clem, but before I get ahead of myself, it's time for the Doggo prediction.
let's go. Celsius dog, I believe.
Let's go. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? For those who don't know, okay. He's gonna be predicting. Oh, Team Liquid. He goes for it.
Whoa, he just went straight for it. Wow.
He knows what he likes.
He had to go around a little. Yeah. Or is it the shark?
It could be. He could be afraid of the shark. Yeah, it's possible. But here we go. We have predictions from every single from all of our lovely casters. We have Xiaose going for Psystorm Na'Vi, F91 going for Team Liquid, followed by Doggo, XY, Max said, Indy went for Psystorm Na'Vi, Wardy went for Team Liquid, so did Crank, and Rotterdam went for Psystorm Na'Vi. So this time we're a little bit more cut down the middle. Not quite 50-50, but there's a little bit more diversity between our picks.
Yeah, definitely have a couple of boys here who have faith in Psystorm Na'Vi. A lot of faith there, and it's definitely possible. Like you were pointing out, different scenarios that could happen here to take out Team Liquid. Obviously, probably only 3 players will be fielded. Technically, they can field a 4th if we do go to the ace match, but usually it is only 3 fielded per match. And there are any number of combinations there where we could see a bit of an upset. You know, Spirit Piotr could take out Clem. MaxPax can definitely do very well here from the side of Psystorm Na'Vi. So if just a couple of things go Psystorm Na'Vi's way, if they start really getting a little bit of momentum going, I can see it happening. But I have to still side with the Doggo and go with Team Liquid in the end.
Yeah, it's one of those things where where Psystorm Na'Vi have a very powerful team, but it's also very slim. We mentioned before that we should be seeing Gerald, Spirit, and MaxPax. They are the trio, the trifecta for Psystorm Na'Vi. Meanwhile, for Team Liquid, they have a deeper roster and they have some big names and some heavy hitters. They have Clem, of course, the most recent EWC champion. They have Cure, a beast in his own right. They have Skillus, who likewise, one of the best Protoss players in the world. We have a Laser, we have Mana. Like, we have options here with who we want to field and who we want to bring out.
Yeah, I definitely think that of the teams that have more than just 3 or 4 players in them, I definitely think Team Liquid is the only one where every player is comparable to each other. Like, obviously, the strongest player in there is still going to be Clem, and there are different levels, but I do think that overall, they've kind of spread out, and they're all very strong players in their own right, you know, compared to some of these other teams who, there are very clear, strong, heavy hitters, and there are a couple of, I guess B-teamers would be a good way of describing them.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see how preparation comes into play. That's going to be a big part of this, I'm sure. Meanwhile, we did get a glimpse of Spirit. We were discussing earlier. Spirit has yet to play today, and because they just showed him off, that could be a tell that he might be, yep, our starting. Oh my gosh, starting player. We have the TVT.
Alrighty then. I was thinking that maybe Team Liquid might hold off a little bit on Clem, or that Sidestorm Na'Vi might hold off a little bit on Spirit, but the stars have aligned here. We're going to kick it off with our TVT of the best Terran player in the world, going up against arguably the second best Terran player in Europe, and probably still top 7 overall worldwide.
I mean, Spirit is an amazing player, and I mean, this is what we were looking forward to. We even had the host, we had the interviewee discussing about and bringing up Clem's TVT, right? That is traditionally the weak point of Clem, is the TVT matchup. But Mana did respond saying that Clem was actually working on his TVT, did not showcase his TVT in EWC, and can now finally flex it, can now finally show it off here at WTL instead.
Indeed, he can, and he's just looking confident right now. I mean, he's swinging back and forth in his chair. He cannot wait to showcase what he has in store, what he was preparing for that he was unable to show off in EWC. Spirit, unfortunately, is going to bear the brunt of it right here.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can handle that runs. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. And before I forget, a big shout out to Coconut as well. Big shout out to Coco. Thank you so much for the raid. The raid did occur during the downtime during the interview, so I do apologize for that. But alas, we are back. We are jumping in to our first best of 2 of the series.
Yeah, and over here in the bottom right, left-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Terran player for Team Liquid. It is Clem.
And in the top left-hand corner, we have Spirit for Sidestorm Na'Vi.
Can I admit something to you, Light?
Go ahead.
Initially, I did not recognize Spirit because he is in a different room than usual.
He's kind of. He's been in this room for the past couple of weeks, but you're not wrong in saying that at the start of the season, he was in a different room. 100% he was. So. Yeah. He has moved to a new apartment, question mark. Did occur halfway through the season.
Yeah. Something along those lines. And, he's all set up now. He's got his cabinet.
Yeah.
I think that was always there, actually. But, yeah. It's a little bit more settled in.
He's got that piece of paper as well.
Yeah. That's I think that's the emergency exit, map or something. Like the fire escape guy.
Yeah. It could be. Very extravagant. As we're selling into our TVT, as a reminder to the format of this event, of course, it's a best of 2, and the first map is predetermined. We're going to be loading into Amphion, and I'm excited to see how our 2 players do approach this here. Again, Spirit has been improving so much as a player over the past couple of years. You mentioned it before, but I do think it was 2023 where he popped off and he was able to really distinguish himself from the rest and really even challenge Hero Marine as the number 2 in Europe.
Was it last year? Or I think it was last year when Spirit beat a laser in that Polish land grand finals. That really, I think, if there was any doubt before, I think that was what really ended them for most people and said that Spirit, he is championship level caliber. He is a fantastic player in his own right. He is absolutely a player who you have to watch out for. Not just in EU, but in the world.
Yeah, exactly. I do think 2023 was Spirit's year. Oh, I will say this year, Spirit, there was a little bit more of a lull here where he was more mellowed out and there weren't as many highs as 2023.
He was moving, so.
True. did have to move and did not compete in the most recent House Galactic battle, but he is back. He is raring to go. For the time being, double gas openers all around, going for later command centers now on the way so far. Relatively mirrored builds, and we'll see how we diverge from here as we have the reactor on the way for Clem. Spirit, meanwhile, going without any add-ons, going for initial Reaper Hellion into Cyclone.
Yeah, we'll see how this ends up interacting with each other, what the dynamic ends up looking like. It does mean that Spirit, I imagine, will be a bit more on the defensive, whereas Clem is going to be looking to be a bit more, or rather, going to be the player who wants to take the initiative here.
Yeah, we'll see as both players are working on their medevac, so it looks like both players want to go for some drop play. The drops they might run into each other, they might pass each other instead. We'll see how they do clash in the center of the map, if at all. I mean, we're loading into Amphion, and Amphion is one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool, but can lead to some really interesting kind of scenarios in the mid game, just because of the features of the map and kind of the base locations, and especially these kind of mineral walls on the left hand side.
I'm now realizing I don't think we've seen that many or as many TVTs on Amphion compared to some of the other maps and matchups. It is fairly reliably vetoed in TVT.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong on that one, as the medevac of Clem takes a lot of damage. The local one was brutal, and you can see Spirit, he's hunting down that medevac. He wants it, Papi, but oh, we see Clem, nice drop, is able to pick off some of those key units and will attempt to escape. All the way to mine.
Yeah, decent bit of juggling from Spirit. Yeah, you can see Clem wanting to bait that in.
Oof.
And in the end, the medevac will still get hit by the Widow Mine. But yeah, definitely could have been more disastrous. Could have lost the medevac.
Yeah, a little bit of miscontrol there from Spirit. Takes a lot of damage on that medevac, and here we go. Clem, he does reinforce, does rock up here on the front lines. Widowmine has yet to reset, but does now have a Cyclone.
Indeed, he does. However, one Cyclone is fewer than two, which is how many Spirit has. So
that's math.
Math. For those of you who weren't aware, that's a fun fact. Yeah.
There you go. Spirit does fend Clem off. We'll bleed out 2 SCVs, and that will give Clem a slight economic lead. Very slight, though. Behind this, ooh, second starport on the way for Spirit. This could be the beginning of a 2-base all-in.
It really is looking that way. We're just getting our Ravens ready. We're waiting for a couple more upgrades. I don't believe either player has Stim yet. Yeah, they don't have Stim yet. They're going to be swapping the add-ons around once Interference Matrix finishes.
Yeah, so with this second starport, Spirit should be going for Mass Viking. That is to gain control of the air. We can go into a Liberator behind it and try to bully the ground army with that air control, with that air superiority, with the Liberator follow-up as well. There's the add-on swap for the reactor. Oh, a little bit of a misplaced starport, so... and a delay drop as well. So Spirit has to calm things down a little bit to get this going, but there we go, making 3 Vikings at a time. This is going to be very committed from Spirit.
Indeed, it is. Clem, meanwhile... We'll see if he commits to just full-on drop play. Or not drop play, medevacs from these starports. That's definitely one way of trying to counter your opponent going for mass Vikings like this. But obviously, you have to be so much more on top of your movement. You have to be so careful that you don't accidentally leave your Marines a little bit too idle and have your opponent's tanks just shell away at them. Which is why these 3 Ravens are going to be absolutely crucial for Clem.
Oh yeah, they're going to be very important, but that's where the Vikings come into play. Spirit will have the Viking lead, and his goal is to bully back those Ravens and keep them out of range of the tanks to disable it, or to make sure there was no disables, no interference matrix. Meanwhile, Clem might have just barely caught the tail end of that move out. He will delay the CC, but again, Spirit doesn't really care about his CC. He's committed to his move out. He's scanned ahead of time. He saw the third base of his opponent, so Spirit should be feeling pretty good about this move out. We'll see if he can break through.
No reaction yet out of Clem, so I don't think he actually got eyes on this move out. Now he does.
And now is where we do see Spirit getting in position, just zoning the army away, delaying the third base, going for a drop on the left-hand side, and so far hasn't really caught any units yet. Clem so far is keeping up. Oh, Ravens coming in from behind.
Maneuvering these Ravens around, yeah. Gets eyes on a couple of reinforcements, but... the reinforcements also get eyes on them. Huge disables coming out from Spirit. Every single Raven going to get locked down and should just about be taken out. But here we go. Some really good Marine splits coming out from Clem.
Wow.
Is going to be enough to drop fire away from those tanks while he sets up on his own and completely shuts down this push.
Yeah.
Despite losing his Ravens.
Yeah, Spirit, he was out of position. His own Ravens were not there to support his ground army. The auto turrets were delayed, and Clem has broken out. And now Clem has a massive lead. He's going to be landing his third base. Spirit is landing his own as well, but it's still not an orbital. He's down in SCVs, and Clem shut down the main army. Takes a massive lead in terms of tanks. Is still behind, though, in Vikings.
Man, that was an anime moment. If I have ever felt like I was in a shonen and fighting against somebody moving on so quickly, this would have been it. Clem's movement between those two fronts was just so fast. It caught us off guard. It caught Spirit off guard as well. Spirit gonna be trying to get damage elsewhere with this double cyclone drop. Actually, 4 SCVs. It's all right.
Oh, Vikings, they come in as well, going for the Ravens, and one Raven gets sniped. There's one Raven left here for Clem, so not a bad pickoff here from Spirits, making the best out of a bad situation. And again, his Viking lead is really his only thing that he has going for him, actually going for the Fusion Core and starting up early BC production.
I was gonna say, like, Spirit, the madman, he's gonna be doubling down on Sky Terran, getting lib range early on, but I suppose BCs do make more sense if you don't have that many starports to work off.
Basically, this is a Hail Mary play. If Clem leaves Spirit alone, then Spirit can get away with BC production. If Clem moves in now, then he might be able to kill Spirit before BCs really come into the mix. So, really risky play out of Spirit. We'll see if we can get away with it.
Speaking of which, Clem moving in now. Tank gets disabled and then immediately taken out by the tanks of Clem. Every single one of these tanks is in range.
Oh my god.
No Vikings here for Clem, so Spirit should be able to at least keep the CC alive, but he's going to be losing a lot of SCVs. He's going to be losing a lot of minerals by trying to repair him.
Yeah, Spirit barely out of range. The disable doesn't do much here. Another Viking going to be going down as well. And this is brutal, just containing Spirit on 2 bases. Meanwhile, at the same time, double drop into the main. Turrets are ready, but they barely do not get the medevacs.
Yeah, they do not. We do have a tank siege here on the ramp, but the tank of Clem, very fast to siege up as well. Disable on the BC is going to make sure that it can get taken out. It is drawing a couple of these Marines out of position, but once again, the Marine splitting or the Marine spreading from Clem is just insane.
Yeah,
every time it looks like he should lose his bio army, he somehow still has a lot of them alive.
Yeah, the disables are brutal. He breaks through the tank line. There is 1 BC remaining, and it does get repaired, but GG gets called. It's just not enough, and Clem will take game number 1.
GG. That was decisive here from Clem. And again, I feel like any other Terran player in the world would have taken a lot more damage at the very least to Spirit's initial push, but not Clem. He's a speedy boy.
Yeah, really nicely done here. Clem just able to recognize his position, able to drag the army away. Honestly, the big moment for Clem was when he was able to distract all the Ravens and Vikings of Spirit and create an opening for himself to break out of the contain, to shut down the main force, and to gain momentum from there. Again, we mentioned before that it was a very risky move for Spirit to rush into BC production. It did kind of eat into everything else, and if he was left alone, he would have gotten away with BCs, but Clem did not leave him alone.
No, he did not. Yeah, in hindsight, looking back in that game, I guess it does. I guess Spirit, because of the build that he went for, Spirit also didn't have that much of a buffer with his ground army. And he had a lot of Vikings, which was great. But it also meant that Clem could spread out his Marines a little bit and just stim on forward to take out those tanks on the low ground.
Yeah, some very nice control there from Clem, and with that, Team Liquid, they start off with a win, but Spirit is not out of it yet. Again, when it comes to the format of this event, losers pick. So Spirit, I'm sure he has a map planned here, and I'm sure he has a build ready for Clem. Question becomes, what map is it, and what build are we going for? Especially considering that I feel like Spirit is known for his macro. He's known for his more greedy economic play. I don't know if he's really one to all in.
I would have thought so too until after that last game.
That's true.
Which, to be fair, I mean, I don't think that was necessarily an all-in. I mean, he was always going to get the third base regardless, but you know, that was a lot more aggression early on than I expected from Spirit.
Yeah, so we'll see if he does that again or if he takes a different approach. We have a map of choice. We're going to be loading into Site Delta.
These are some very outdated photos.
You're like, where is the hair?
The hair is, yeah. See, in the top left-hand corner, we have a blue Terran player for Team Liquid. We have Clem. Here goes Clem.
He does. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Spirit for Psy Storm Na'Vi. The cabinet's open.
It It wasn't open before, was it? Oh no, you mean the one on the floor? Yeah,
But yeah, the one on the floor, it's open. Yeah.
yeah, it's open. What escaped?
You think something was in the cabinet and like busted out? Oh no.
Yeah.
Ah. It was the prediction doggo.
Oh.
It was locked away for picking Team Liquid.
Oh. Little did they know, Doggo cannot be contained.
But yeah, definitely my eyes are going to be on Spirit here. We do see a very stark difference. Last game on Amphion, we had double gas openers from both players. This time, single gas. We have one gas from Clem, one gas from Spirit, which means we're going for faster CCs. Both players are going for a more economic start.
Yep. About what we expected. Well, economic start, really, is, I think, the emphasis there, because knowing Clem, there's definitely a high chance that while we will get into the mid game, I'm not sure we're going to be staying there for long.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's on Spirit to really dictate the pace of the game. We saw last game he was hyper aggressive. I do not expect another build quite like that. Another double starport, two base committed play like we saw previously, especially with how poorly it performed in game 1. But I'm sure Spirit has other builds up his sleeve, and he could even try to incorporate mech, which is what he was even trying to do last game, just going like purely starport factory production.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it was such a quirky build, or not. It wasn't necessarily the build that was quirky, but it was definitely a bit of a quirkier dynamic that we had after the push got taken out. That the transition to mech was just insanely quick from Spirit, and unfortunately, just because the transition was quick doesn't mean that you'll have an army out quickly.
Yeah. Again, he was vulnerable there in that transition period. For now, though, we do have our 1-1-1 follow-ups. Factories on the way. We have initial starting units, of course, to poke in, to scout our opponents. It could even be Clem, the one to turn the tables and be aggressive himself as well. So, yeah, don't rule that out.
That's definitely more of what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
At least when we get into the mid game. Expecting a lot of drops, a lot of pushes, a lot of Marines in random-ish locations. Or not necessarily random, but just getting caught in a parade push,
Yeah, I definitely see that happening.
A lot of parade pushing.
As Double Reaper gets into main base, gets 2 SCVs for 2 Reapers. It's not ideal for Spirit. He also gets a free or full scout of the main, so it gets that at least. But with that, has lost map control. Now Clem is situated back at home, opening up with some drop play. Clem did go for a slightly faster starport, so he's going to be getting to drop slightly faster as well. Spirit going to be taking a more defensive role this time, at least in the early game.
Yeah. We're getting thrown down. Does not want to get caught with this Hellion or any of these Marines without any backup.
We have bunkers on the way. We're setting up in the main base as well. Starport is done. This can lead into Vikings. Initially, AK Spirit going for a Raven opener. So we'll have those early Ravens to work with. It's Clem instead going for the drop play.
A lot of drop play.
Yes, Clem has quite a lot of units here to work with. He's going to have, I think it's 2 Cyclones, Hellions as well. There is that bunker to support, but if Spirit is late to pull the boys to repair, then he might be in some trouble.
Yeah, and there's also only 1 Marine in the bunker right now. Boys have been pulled. Marines have been bunked in, and Spirit has held.
There we go. Nice repair there from Spirit. He does hold on to that bunker. Meanwhile, Clem dropping into the main base, but won't get much done. Does scout the starport, does spot it. Researching as well with the tech lab, so nice scout as well. Doesn't get much damage, though, as Spirit so far has held.
Yeah, he has held. Clem still looking for an opening with this medevac, but not going to find any just yet.
Sharking around, 3rd CCs on the way for both players. No one is going double starport. No one is going for a 2-base all-in. We can see Clem embracing bio play. Stim is on the way, extra Raxes. Based on what happened last game, okay, there we go. I was like, is Spirit going to throw down the second factory? Maybe later on. We have more bio as well from Spirit.
Yeah, so Marine tank versus Marine tank. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, auto turrets coming.
Biovers, or no mech is how I should describe, or how I should phrase that rather.
Yeah.
You'll love to see it.
Do love to see it. No mech. Not in game number 2 at least. Might see it later on down the line in the series. Still plenty of other Terran players to get involved. But for now, we're working towards Biotank, as you mentioned. We can see Clem coming in to catch out the Raven.
And he will get it. Nicely done. So we're now down to only 1 Raven, and that's gonna be a little bit of an issue if he does decide to go for a push. It's gonna give him a lot less disable potential.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big pickup. Like, the Raven just adds so much more utility to your main army, especially in TVT. So Clem is going to be up a Raven, I believe. Spirit is going to have to try to work without that. Still just breaking out and looking to eventually expand. We'll see if either player tries to deny the third base of the other.
Yeah, so now I see a 3rd orbital finishing up for Spirit. And I see no CCs on the way for Clem.
It's already done.
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
so here we go. We see Spirit taking his 3rd, so is Clem. They're both floating on over, land on location. But again, the question becomes, does either one move out across the map? Clem's still just focusing on drop play, nothing too major, just poking in with his Cyclones. A bit of a slower mid-game this time.
yeah, we're just waiting for a timing to hit. Once again, I do think that Clem knows that he's up a Raven and will be the player to take the initiative here, as +1 is on the way. Yeah, on the way, almost done.
It is on the horizon here.
I should full screen this.
You've been casting without a full screen? Mate, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. As we are going to be moving out, Spirit going for a risky double drop right through the center, does avoid the main army. Oh.
Yeah, a couple of those sables do get thrown down. Both, or 2 Ravens of Clem do get taken out for at least this initial fight. We also have a double drop coming out here from Spirit, taking out so many SCVs. Clem has got to make a decision, turn around or commit, and it looks like he's going to commit.
Oh my god, the counter disables though. The tanks are disabled. The SCVs are pulled into their deaths. And Clem, he will take this fight. It will shut down the main tank army, break on through into the 3rd base as well. Both players using mineral lines. But Clem, can he get the CC? Alright, it's going for the army.
He's going to try his going for the army. We still have 1 disable remaining on this Raven. But it's very vulnerable to the Marines. It will live somehow.
Yeah.
I guess high ground, dead air.
Does barely survive. Another tank going to be falling. Looks like Spirit will eventually force back this army, but both players have taken a lot of damage. We see Clem with a slight worker lead. Both players also have mineral lines, but I believe both players did save their bases.
Well, we know Clem did. Yeah, Spirit. Well, yeah, Spirit did as well. I'm not used to not being able to just click over and check. I have to actually, deduce this together.
Yeah.
With my brain.
It's something we have to do. But yeah, both players going to be retaining their expansions. Clem still being active with these drops, keeping Spirit busy. But Spirit is hunting down those medics, and looks like he will catch one of them. Both even.
Yeah, nice sort of stepping coming up here from Spirit. Big supply loss here from Clem. And now things are looking a lot more even than they were earlier.
Yeah, things are very neck and neck here. Both players are battered, both players are bruised, and neither one is willing to relent here as we are looking to break out. The main army is spotted. We can see Spirit going for 2 double drops. We have a double drop on the left-hand side and a double drop on the right.
Quadruple drop, if you will. Or a double-double.
Uh-huh.
Double drop, yeah.
Yeah?
Alright, we'll go with that.
Okay. As we do see Spirit making his way towards the main, Clem does have a spotter depot, I believe, towards or right outside his own main base, so he does have a bit of a tell, a little bit of a way to give him a bit of a heads up, or even has Marines ready in the main base itself.
Yeah. Looks like they are set up to be a drop, but for the time being, they are just going to be chilling there and ideally catching some harass.
Definitely. I'm sure Spirit is waiting for a move out. Once he does spot it, he can pull the trigger with his drop play. Both players just building up in 3 bases, stabilizing after all that damage, after all that chaos, and getting ready for their 4th CCs.
This game has been a lot calmer than game number 1.
Yeah, there have been some spikes of aggression, but you're right, there's been some like lulls in between as well, and yeah, we're just going to be easing our way towards a longer game. I mean, again, Side Delta is a bit of a longer and larger map as well, so yeah, we're getting a little bit more out of this.
Yeah, we're just posturing for the most part. We do have the drop still in position here from Spirit, but hasn't quite found his opening yet. Ideally, he does want to distract the main army before diving in. Does scout this move out from Clem.
It does scout the move out. We can see Clem threatening the would-be 4th base. Meanwhile, we can see that Clem's depot is going to be on fire here. We're going to try and knock that down so we can gain access to the main. Spirit yet to pull the trigger, though. Still is active with those drops, but is still waiting for the opportune moment.
As Clem proceeds to push out, he knows that... Well, I'm not sure if he knows he has that advantage, but he's feeling pretty confident now as SC2 finishes up.
Ooh, yes, the double jump is scouted, so a big moment here for Clem. He does spot them, does lose 2 SCVs, but is now aware of the drop play. At the same time, Spirit being active on the right-hand side, he does pull the trigger as well. Up!
Ooh. Huge disable on this medevac, going to be preventing anything from unloading. A lot of dead Marines in that medevac, but it also does mean that Clem won't be able to use that particular disable until he regens energy.
And just to regenerate that energy, Clem is now maxed out. 3 3s on the way, and Clem should be the first to push. Meanwhile, 2 more starports on the way, so Clem is getting ready for late game. He's getting ready for Mass Raven, Mass Viking, Mass Liberator. For Sky Terran is working on that transition. Until then, Clem is pushing towards the 3rd.
I go for a bit of a split push. Gets eyes on
the tanks.
Kind of the main army. Yeah, tanks are looking uber vulnerable. Tanks in the only 1 disable available right now for Clem.
Oh my god,
massive! But that's going to be enough anyway.
Yeah, massive tank volleys going off. Spirit, he cannot engage, is being forced back, and just like that, the 3rd base is denied. Tank going to be going down as well. Spirit knocked down a base, and it's going to be difficult to break out.
Yeah, but what might make it a little bit easier is Liberators, especially when you have extended range on them.
We have advanced ballistics on the way for Spirit, getting into that Liberator production. Until then, getting a Raven as well. Nice pickup, sniping some key units. Clem's still going for a split push, but I don't think he can quite break the 4th base of Spirit.
Yeah, he's going to try to contain at the very least. He did force a lift up in this 3rd base. It hasn't been retaken, so yeah, Spirit effectively knocked down to a 3-base economy for the time being.
As Liberators have arrived, finally Clem is going to be forced back. We can see that Clem is making two Ravens at a time. He's got a 4th starport on the way as well, so is embracing that Sky Terran transition. Still looking for another way in. Clem does have that Marine advantage.
Yeah, it does have the Marine advantage, and our players are still about even when it comes to the tanks, but one very surefire way of losing a Marine advantage is running them into tank volleys, except when they don't have a buffer.
Yeah,
nice start stepping from Clem.
They were caught on siege. A big loss there for Spirit. Once again, Clem catching him off guard, going for the CC, but won't quite be able to get it. We do have plenty of support here. Liberators have rocked up, and Spirit, he does have Marines. Oof.
Indeed, he does. Marines a little bit too out of position to really help against the Liberators at least, but that wasn't the entirety of Clem's army. He still has another whole bunch of tanks and Marines here towards the east, and he will be trying to take out this 4th base.
Yeah, he's just pulling Spirit apart. He's going for the Liberators. 1, 2, 3 Liberators, they go down, and the tanks are within range of the Planetary. Planetary taking a lot of damage. Vikings, they can try to land on the tanks. They go for the land, they go for the dive.
They will try to keep the tanks away from the base, and they do succeed, but they give up their lives to do so. Every single Viking has gone down. And
the problem here is that Clem has had the better economy behind this. Clem, as a result, has a much larger army, has rebuilt, has remaxed, moving out once again, and now we have those Ravens, we have those disables.
And apparently 2 is all we're gonna need. GG is called. Clem will be taking game number 2 of this best of 2. Bring his team into the league with a little bit of momentum.
GG, well played. A very, very, as he does draw first blood, but a very, very aggressive game there to Clem, just pulling Spirit apart left and right. Spirit was just one step behind. He had potential with his drop play, he had potential with his counterattacks, but Clem was able to keep up with him. And yeah, Spirit just over time was overwhelmed, was outpaced by Clem.
Yeah. Game of economy at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Again, really impressive stuff there by Clem, just pulling Spirit apart, denying the third base, and, you know, especially in the mirror matchup, like being down a base for even a couple, like a minute or two, like just, it snowballs so much out of control.
As you saw, we got Cure now.
Yeah, we have Cure.
Different angle, weirdly.
He's like, will I even play today? Did I have to be here? Clemmy's popping off.
Well, he might not play today, but you know he's had to be here.
Yeah.
Cure, ever since he joined Team Liquid, he's become the #1 Clem cheerleader.
Yeah, it's his boy.
Yeah.
Alright, shout out to Nikita. Let's go.
Yeah. And if you have trouble figuring out whether or not it's skillless, you can confirm it's skillless by the bet in the background.
I thought you were gonna
and the card.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say that the only way that you know it's skillless is you do have a photo of skillless in the background. That's how you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is that the photo also has, even though it has its name, it's, or at least, wait, let me full screen this. Let me see if it's readable. Oh, it is readable in full screen. Okay. Well, look, if it's not in full screen, it's not readable, and so you have to look at the face again.
Exactly. That's how you confirm. Beautiful.
Got a plant in the windowsill. You'll have to see it. Or is that a plant? Let me full screen this. It looks like a plant.
Yeah, is it real though?
Well, if you think about it, aren't all plants just, you know, not real?
Excuse me. Oh, as it looks like we might have our next opponent here. Okay. Again, we do have Spirit being knocked out, but up next, we're getting ready for our second match. And who is going to be the contender against Clem? Looks like it might be MaxPax.
Bringing out the ace, coming in with the big guns. I'm excited about this. Clem and MaxPax have a little bit of a rivalry going on for quite some time. I think in the most recent WCS, or not WCS anymore. Why do I keep saying that? I wasn't even... It's been literal years since then. But in the most recent ESL Masters EU, it was Clem versus MaxPax in those finals. And while Clem ended up winning in the end, MaxPax took him all the way to the ace. So the fact that he only needs to win one map here is absolutely possible. Well, potentially absolutely possible. Clem is still on fire, very much on fire.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Clem and MaxPax, they have played so often, especially in the online tournaments in ESL Open Cups. But especially with Clem going to Korea, we actually haven't seen Clem versus MaxPax in a couple of months. Because he went to Korea, he stopped playing in the ESL Open Cup Europe, he stopped playing in the ESL Open Cup Americas because he never woke up in time. So
Really?
yeah, they have been missing each other.
I would imagine that the timing for ESL Open Cup EU would be better for Clem from Korea.
You think so?
I would have thought so, but I guess not.
I guess not. So yeah, I'm excited to see them face off after.
Who made everyone not be DGen.
It's possible. It's very possible. It's very possible. He would make them go to sleep on time, but they still just slept in like animals. God damn it. Yeah. But we have our starting map. We're going to be loading into Crimson Court. It's game on.
Here we go. A lot of annoying tech spots on Crimson Court from what I've heard. I myself have never been in that position.
Yeah,
I myself have never experienced facing tanks on Crimson Court.
Would you veto it?
No, I don't. I've never played a TVT on Crimson Court that I can remember of. No, that's not true. I've played at least one. But anyway, over here on Crimson Court, over here in the top right-hand corner, we have a blue Terran player for Team Liquid. It's Clem.
And in the bottom left, we have a MaxPax for Psystorm Na'Vi. Go. And again, we did have an interview with MaxPax earlier after the last series, and he was asked specifically about Clem, specifically about Team Liquid. MaxPax, you know, showing his respect, did say that it was not going to be an easy one, and that he hopes he's prepared and ready for Clem. Again, we have seen MaxPax bring him down before. We do know he can, but the question becomes, can MaxPax 2-0? Because that's what he needs to type the series and type the scoreline. Otherwise, Team Liquid will maintain their lead, even if Clem were to go down.
Yeah. Going 1-1, I mean, that's a start, I suppose, here. I mean, that's definitely going to be the first... Like, just taking down Clem is going to be the first hurdle for Psystorm Na'Vi. But like you said, going 2-2 will just give them a... Where am I going with this? I realized mid-sentence that I'm pretty much just reiterating what you said.
Like, hold on, I've heard these
like
words
what I'm
before.
trying to yeah. Like what I'm basically getting at is just going 1-1 is good. It gives Psystorm Na'Vi a chance, but going 2-2 I think will just put the shoe on the other foot, will start to allow them to get the ball rolling, right? It's like if you imagine you have a ball that's rolling in two directions. Right now it's rolling in Team Liquid's direction. MaxPax's job right now is to just stop the ball, get it motionless. That's going 1-1. But if he can go 2-0, then he gets out rolling the ball in Psystorm Na'Vi's direction.
There you go. And if you've been watching MaxPax, you know he can handle balls.
Yeah. Likes his balls.
He does. I'm waiting to see who would speak first. Okay. We're settling into our next game. It is going to be interesting. A Stargate opener at a MaxPax. Okay, so I was expecting something safer. I was expecting, you know, Blink-based openers, 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, but no, MaxPax going for a Stargate instead.
Surprisingly, yeah. This is the first PVT, anyway, that I think MaxPax is opening up with a Stargate.
Yeah, it's going for the Stargate opener. Meanwhile, 2 Reapers do get into the main base. Probes being targeted down. Already 3 probes falling, and the Reapers, they will escape. Oh my god.
Oh, will they? I think that Reaper 100% would have died if it tried to jump down the cliff.
Oh my god. Yeah,
It's gonna die anyway, but not before taking out another probe.
Yeah, 4 probes to 1 Reaper is a beautiful start for Clem. On top of that, I believe Clem, oh, never mind, did not scout the tech of choice, so he is a little bit in the dark. And Clem happens to be opening up Banshee.
Yeah, not ideal against the Phoenixes over here. Maybe if he can somehow avoid the Phoenixes earlier on, he can activate Cloak and still have his Banshees get into position behind one of the mineral lines of MaxPax and wreak a lot of havoc, but that's a big if. Most likely, MaxPax is going to get 2 more Phoenixes after this, and then immediately move across the map for a bit of scout.
Yeah. As the Reaper, there we go, we have confirmation. The Reaper does get eyes on these Phoenixes, and now Clem is aware. But this opener from Clem, we'll see if we can pull it off. I'm a little bit concerned. So Clem is going to be building up and going for Tank Banshee. We saw this earlier today, actually. Again, Tank Banshee is what Kalizer went for in his first series versus Gerald. Has been very trendy as of late. But Phoenixes, as long as they're in position, they can shut this down.
If they're in position. Which, so far, there's no reason for MaxPax to really suspect what's coming his way, but the Scout will scout. Or the Phoenixes will scout. Scout is a different unit. He knows immediately he needs to get detection. He needs to get his Phoenixes in position.
Yeah, he's racing back home. The Banshee doing no damage so far. Observers on the way. Banshee goes for the main. No shield battery, by the way, and probes are going down. But it's going to be a one-way trip. This Banshee is going to go down, but how many probes will it bring down with it?
Well, at least 5, at least 6.
Huh?
The answer is 6. 10 probes have fallen in total throughout this game. And while that wasn't the best trade here with this Banshee opening, it's still enough. The Phoenixes almost get caught by the Marines in the middle of the map, but not quite. Very quick reaction from MaxPax.
Yeah, very nicely done. Max actually does pull away in time, hasn't lost anything. But again, because the Phoenixes are marauding, Clem cannot go. He cannot go for his timing. If it was a Twilight Council opener, then Clem would have been across the map, knocking down the natural. Alas, instead, he's stuck at home.
Like so. Second Banshee gonna come in and take out a couple more probes. MaxPax gonna reciprocate the damage as best he can. He's already putting himself on even footing. Or almost even footing. He has a slight lead when it comes to the worker count here of Clem. But, of course, Clem, he's got mules. And MaxPax doesn't.
He does. Well, this is some nice damage out of MaxPax, and I would favor MaxPax here. He doesn't just get economic damage, he forces the army to stay back at home. He shuts down the Banshees, he shuts down the initial tank push as well. Basically, Clem invested into this army, into all these units that he wanted to make use of, and he's unable to, as the tanks are stuck at home and Clem is being contained.
Yeah. He invested in an army that's supposed to push out, that's supposed to be fast, it's supposed to push out early and push out strong. But MaxPax has a weird way of investing in an army that was incidentally perfect for slowing this down.
Yeah, exactly. And as a result, MaxPax has so much time to prepare. Colossus production has already begun for MaxPax. We have Exentomalents on the way as well. Phoenixes are keeping tabs on this army. And again, if Clem isn't too careful, MaxPax will go for the tanks. So Clem has to babysit them as best as he can.
Yeah. And what's interesting about this opening from Clem is that because he went for the Banshees earlier on, because he invested into Cloak, he's not getting Ravens this time.
Yeah, no Ravens, just Viking medevac tank. We do see one of the tanks was lifted quickly. Clem was able to respond in time. Colossus on the way, and Clem is still moving out. Has made his way across the map, and can he get on top of that third? Oh.
Yeah, well, not too much of a buffer here for these Colossus, but you still want to be very careful facing them regardless when this much of your army is Marines. Tanks not in the best position to shell away or to really threaten MaxPax, so I think MaxPax is just about held.
I mean, so far he is holding. The longer this goes on, the better it is for MaxPax. More reinforcements on the way. MaxPax will try to catch them and will catch all these Marines. Big Mitchell goes off though.
Yeah, we'll catch almost every Phoenix, but alas, the splash damage isn't quite enough here. A little bit of zoom in on Clem. I always appreciate it. WTL boys.
Yeah.
Or WTL observer.
Yeah, as we do catch out some of those reinforcements. Widowmine's going down. SCV's going down as well. Clem is expanding. He's taking third base, but he's losing a lot in the process. Very nice counterattack here from MaxPax.
Yeah, really forcing everything back here from Clem. Everything's in the middle of the map, and Clem still has a pretty strong army. I mean, he hasn't traded any of his RB units yet, but he hasn't been able to make use of them is the issue.
Exactly. He's still rotating, still trying to find a way in, and so far Clem is able to keep up time and time and time again, and Clem just cannot find a chink in the armor of MaxPax, even harassing once again, going for the Marines.
Yeah, we'll be able to go toe-to-toe with them when you have this many Phoenixes out on the map. A couple of them starting to fall, but we're starting to get to the stage where MaxPax, he is fine trading out Phoenixes so long as he gets something out of it.
Yeah, that is a little bit scary though. As the Phoenix count gets lower, the tanks become more viable. Again, the scary thing with this high Phoenix count is that whenever there's a big fight, because there's so many Phoenixes, you can just lift all the tanks. You can lift all the tanks and then the Colossus can do the rest. But now suddenly the Phoenix count has been whittled away at. As I say that though, massive gateway explosion and MaxPax is working towards charge lots.
Like so, Templar Archives on the way, so Charged Archon, a really good follow-up, a really classic and potent follow-up from Colossus, from Phoenix Colossus.
Yeah, and we can see MaxPax, he's even gone up to 4 Colossus. That's a little bit excessive is what I will say. And what's interesting is that MaxPax is not working towards Disruptors. It is going to be Charge Lots and Storm on the horizon, as the Templar Archives did just finish up for Archon production. And I imagine Storm is going to be on the horizon here as, oh, never mind, actually, Disruptors have begun.
Alrighty then. As MaxPax has decided that he needs more splash damage now rather than just wait along for Storm.
The disruptors are on the way. We can see that Clem is denied the 4th base. MaxPax trying to expand elsewhere, takes the mind shot to the face. But as time goes on, that disruptor count is getting higher and higher. And Clem is still looking for a way in.
Indeed he is, but it's kind of tricky right now. That's a factory that's floating, and that is a warp prism that's warping.
Yeah, massive warp into the main base. Vikings are in position, but a little bit too late, and SCVs are going down. And this actually drags the entire army of Clem back home.
Yeah, these 8 zealots, they're no joke. He knows that he has to deal with them or completely give up his economy.
Yeah, so...
Only loses 3 SCVs, so could have been worse.
Oh yeah, could have been worse, but it drags the entire army back. Clem is out of position. Now MaxPax is double expanding. He's getting a 4th and a 5th at the same time. So a big breakout here from MaxPax. Meanwhile, he does catch a tank.
Does catch a tank, but good EMPs will drain the Phoenixes of energy. So they're not gonna be it's gonna be a while before they become useful again.
Yeah, but Clem, he is breaking out. This entire time he's been building up an army. Clem is maxed. He is maxed out, and he's looking to try to take a fight here and now.
Sooner rather than later. He's got the high ground, and but he pulls back again. He doesn't have reinforcements he can rely on to deal with the run-bys.
Yeah, the entire army turns back around. For a moment, Vikings are in position. Can we deny the warp in? Barely can.
We can. Whew. Wow. I really thought that was going to complete.
Definitely close. Meanwhile, Nova's going off. Nice save there from Clem, saving that 1 tank. But again, is being zoned away. Clem still trying to find another way. Ooh, big connection on the Ghost.
Yeah, losing even just 1 Ghost right now is brutal for Clem. They're so crucial in this assault. But here we go. Clem, he's sieging up. He's getting ready. A couple of EMPs get thrown down. Yeah, mostly on the Phoenixes.
Yeah, disruptors are coming from behind, but they're out of position, and now we can focus them down. The splits, they're going to be decent. Some big connections, though.
Yeah, kind of difficult to focus on the disruptors when you still have all these Colossus taking you out in the front. One of them will finally fall to the Vikings, but a very quick warp in of Stalkers is going to keep MaxPax alive.
Yeah, the scary thing for MaxPax, though, he lost a lot of disruptors. He has 1 disruptor left. He's making 2 at a time, about to have 3. Did deny the 5th base, but at least MaxPax did double expand. He has a 4th up and running on the right-hand side. Clem does not turn around, though. He wants to keep pushing.
Yeah, we pretty much hit the point that Clem very much excels at, where he gets a little bit of momentum when he is on the map and never lets go of it. He has the map control, and he just wants to make full use of it.
He does want to. We can see MaxPax being cheeky with that disruptive movement. Clem rotating over. Finally, for the first time, he's going to get eyes on the expansion of MaxPax. It is fully saturated. Meanwhile, nice EMP. 1 Colossus goes down.
Yeah, battery overcharge going to be coming in clutch, though. Still, it is a little bit limited, and there's a couple of good EMPs, and there's only 1 Colossus remaining. All of these zealots going to be helping out a ton.
Yeah, MaxPax out of position. The disruptors were not ready. They were not there to support, so 2 Colossus go down. In the end, MaxPax will hold, but those are some brutal losses for MaxPax. Now he has to rely mainly on disruptors. Disruptors are amassing, to be fair, but Clem still has momentum on his side.
Yeah, he's getting stymied a little bit here and there, but it doesn't take him long to find his footing once again. That was a kill and not a cancel on that Nexus.
Yeah, big pick-off. That's 400 minerals down the drain. You can see MaxPax trying to keep up, trying to spread out his army, but he's being spread thin here. Clem does have the supply lead. Meanwhile, that is a 3rd Warp Prism now moving out towards the left-hand side. MaxPax is getting ready for another big warping into the main, hoping to try to drag Clem back home again.
Yeah, we'll see if it works. I do like the fan out of Zealots. Will allow MaxPax to get eyes on the main army, but there's still plenty more where that came from here, from the side of Clem.
Yeah, there's still plenty more as we do snipe one of those workers. We do see Clem rotating around. Again, he's just denying the expansion, just containing MaxPax on 4 bases while he gets a 5th.
we'll see how well he's going to be able to fortify it. Once again, this 5th base location. It's looking to be in a lot of trouble from Clem's army.
Yeah, it's just so exposed. We can see Clem transitioning back at home. We have another starport on the way. Liberator range, Liberator production has begun as well. That is the answer that Clem needs against a disruptor-based army. Meanwhile, MaxPax trying to collapse on this from a bit of a flank.
Yeah, once again trying to replicate the success of the previous engagement when he came into all the flanking disruptors. But this time Clem is a lot more alert to it.
Yeah, he's a lot more aware, is able to pull away, is able to avoid most of the purification overs. No major connections yet. But again, Clem, he does want to trade out to free up supply for more libs.
Yeah, I just realized that. He was maxed out and barely had a single Liberator. He does just need to get rid of some of his army, but doesn't want to just throw it away willy-nilly.
Exactly, doesn't want to throw it away. Kiting back here against these Zealots, trading quite nicely, and here we go. 4 libs are being made at a time, and once they arrive, Clem can start gaining ground.
What are the anti-air options right now here for MaxPax? They are very much so limited. I mean, he's got Stalkers.
Yeah,
I really want to blink past all of these Marines to get to the Liberator.
Yeah, he's got a handful of Stalkers available. Finally, that Observer has been cash money for MaxPax. It's granted him so much vision, so much information about the movement of Clem, but finally it does go down. We can see MaxPax taking a Desperation expansion on the left-hand side. Does move out with his main army, but Liberators have arrived.
They have, and now they're starting to set themselves up. Okay, not quite. Still waiting for a favorable position. Nice triple drop into that 5th base location of MaxPax, but we also have a really good warp in of Zealots in the main of Clem.
He wants them! He gets them! 3 Disruptors! 3, 4!
Instantly go down. Well, this push still keeps on going, at least for the time being. We'll finally get deflected, but in the end, I still feel like Clem got out of here with more value. Yeah,
Clem, he caught 4 Disruptors, takes the big Nova to the face, and Novas have been pretty good, but at the same time did deny the 5th base once again. Zealots across the map, getting some SCVs, but really it's negligible losses here for Clem. He can just keep pushing.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. Stalkers try to blink past the main army, and this is a decent angle for them to chip away, but unfortunately, the Liberators deal with literally everything else on the ground. The Colossus have been taken out, the Disruptors are now down, and there's still another army for Clem hitting north base.
Exactly, the split push is too much. GG gets called, and Clem takes game number 1.
Wow, GG. Nicely done.
Very nicely done here. Clem just pulling MaxPax apart. MaxPax is just up against the wall, up against it for so long there. And MaxPax was just denied the 4th base for so long and the 5th base for so long. It was impressive stuff. Very impressive there by Clem.
Yeah, without a doubt. There were multiple times where I was looking at Clem's position and I thought, oh, he's dead. Like 100%, if I was playing that, if most other Terran players I think was playing that, they would just take 1 too many Disruptor hits or 1 too many Colossus volleys, and yeah, from there the snowball would start to flow or start to roll in MaxPax's direction, but not Clem.
Yeah, it was a very impressive start is what I will say. Winding it back a little bit, if you remember, MaxPax had the Stargate opener, he had map control, and he was doing a really good job at just denying the push. Like, Clem had built up towards all these tanks, and he was just stuck at home, stuck on 2 bases, stuck on 3 bases as well. But eventually, Clem broke out, and it was just really impressive how he was able to eventually catch the Phoenixes. If you remember, once half the Phoenixes fell, suddenly Clem he gained map control. He was able to actually finally break out, be active, and never really lost that control.
Yeah. You have to remember, when you see you cannot contain the Clem, you gotta take him out when you can.
And with that, Clem does take lead in the series, and we'll see if MaxPax can bring Clem down with him. I know that MaxPax, again, he's taken down Clem in the past, but this is a different Clem. This is a world-class Clem.
Yeah. This is Unchained, restrained Clem. And here's speaking of which, here we are in Oceanborn. In the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Terra player for Team Liquid. We have Clem.
And in the bottom right, we have as a opponent, we have MaxPax for Storm Gaming.
Am I blind, or did he actually comb his hair a little bit today?
Clem?
It doesn't seem as wild. Yeah, Clem.
Yeah, 100%.
Huh. Well, it still looks pretty good.
He combed his hair for
Looks a little bit
WTL,
like,
but did not for EWC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, priorities, right? Looks a little bit like the protagonist from Don't Starve.
Uh-huh.
With that hair.
And we'll see if MaxPax can bring it together here and give his team a chance at bringing Clem down. Clem has been looking like an animal. Like, it's been really impressive to see Clem. He has been looking like the best player in the world. Did prove that at EWC. I know there are people that are like, well, I mean, MaxPax never went to EWC. True, but I mean, that doesn't mean that Clem isn't still the best in the world.
MaxPax didn't go to EWC, which is why we're bringing EWC to him.
True. There you go. You finally get it.
Yeah. Was I contesting that with you at some point?
No.
Okay, because it sounds like something I might have done in the past. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't, but
yeah.
I might have.
Nah. You're not that crazy. Meanwhile, nice eBay block out of Clem. He does force the unnatural natural, and this is a really rough position for MaxPax. As you can imagine, the natural and the main base are very far apart.
I'm so curious as to why, with that eBay block, MaxPax decided to take the forward expansion instead of the triangular one.
Yeah, it is an interesting choice here for MaxPax. That low ground base that he went for is quite exposed. On the one hand, it's closer to your opponent, so maybe you can kind of use it to be aggressive, but as we can see here, it's not a Twilight Council. Once again, MaxPax going for the Stargate.
Maybe he's hoping that Clem will not scout that area and just assume that MaxPax responded with one base, but again, all Clem needs to do is go to the main and realize that, yeah, you're not one basing this. There's absolutely no chance. Yeah, it's an interesting decision there for MaxPax.
Yeah, he does at least scout across the map, does get eyes on the CC on the high ground, is aware. Meanwhile, Clem is going to try and punish this. Now, Clem, he is aware that the expansion has been taken elsewhere, and he's committing to mass Hellion. And the goal here is to wreak havoc in the mineral lines. It takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe, and if they line up, we can have a proper barbecue.
That many? It needs to be lowered. The amount of Hellions, I mean.
Like, 1 Hellion should be enough.
It should. But I recognize that I need to compromise a little bit, so 2. I'll go with 2.
Shaking my head. As he got the Hellions, they go for a dive, but the Phoenix are in position.
They are, but you know what? We still have 3 Hellions. Ooh. Now we have 2.
We're down to 2. We have to 2-shot probes instead, and so far, not too bad. 5 probes go down, but we will clean this up. So far, nice defense here out of MaxPax. This could have been so much worse.
It really could have. Meanwhile, Clem hasn't gotten eyes on that base just yet, but like you said, he has been able to piece everything together. Based on everything else he scouted, he knows there's a base somewhere. And if it's not by that triangular position, it's going to be somewhere else.
He is aware. Meanwhile, Phoenix is they dip into the main. Ooh, Viking does pop out. We have some Marines on the way. It looks like MaxPax only gets the 1 SCV, but at upside, do you head towards the natural? Up.
There's a lot of potential here. You know, 3 Adepts. That's enough to one-shot SCVs.
That is more than enough. Meanwhile, boys are being pulled. The Viking taking a lot of damage, but the repairs on the Viking barely enough. Oh no! It goes down.
Yeah, will fall in the end, but these Phoenixes do also take a bit of a beating. MaxPax has to be careful with them as the game continues.
Does have to be careful as he is going to be rallying towards the main, bypassing the main army, and alas, without turrets and without any more of a movable force, Clem is being abused quite a bit here, but only loses one SCV. Just the one.
Yeah, only one for the time being. Meanwhile, we also have a double Viking production, so with good enough target firing, then maybe Clem will be able to shut down these Phoenixes. A lot easier said than done, but he now has a bit more for defense at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, this damage is slowly stacking up. It's like 3, 2, 1 SCVs here and there, and as a result, MaxPax has a very nice economic advantage. Once again, just like this game number 1, the Mass Phoenix is keeping Clem contained. Vikings are building up, and we're trying to keep up. We haven't killed too many of these Phoenixes, so again, Clem has yet to break out. Eventually he will, but until then, he's being stuck on 2 bases.
For now, Stim just about beginning. Once that's done, I mean, there's nothing, there will be nothing to really hold him back after that.
Yeah, nice snipe on the weakened Phoenix. So finally, MaxPax is going to be losing one of them. Behind this interesting choice, MaxPax is not rushing into Colossus, instead is going for a gateway heavy composition, straight into charge, with Immortals to support.
Okay, interesting. I think MaxPax has kind of recognized that if he can keep Clem back for long enough, then he doesn't really need to rely on those Colossus to defend. I think he also scouted the Vikings, so he knows that they're not going to be... Eventually, when Clem does break out his contain, Colossus are going to be extra vulnerable, so... Charged Archon, still a very potent force, still a fairly versatile unit composition. I normally... When I think of Charged Archon, I think of more of an offensive, aggressive army, but can still be used for defense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do agree in the sense that if MaxPax, ideally, I'm sure he wants to fight the army in the middle of the map. I'm sure he wants Clem to push into him. As we can see, Clem is, for the time being, focused on expanding and taking a third. And finally, after so long, the third base is being taken by Clem. Phoenixes are still keeping him pinned back at home, and he will be able to try to keep up and force back those Phoenixes. But I'm waiting to see if he does move out, or if he stays back home and works towards a fourth base and plays a little bit more defensively instead.
We shall figure out. A couple more Phoenixes will fall to the Vikings. Phoenixes, I mean, their day has come and gone. They're not going to be too useful as the game continues, so MaxPax not going to be remaking any of them compared to the previous series where they were crucial in surviving against tanks.
Yeah, once again, this is kind of a big moment for Clem because he is very tank heavy, and now that the Phoenix count is a little bit lower, Clem's army is going to be a little bit more effective as well. But as we say that, it looks like MaxPax wants to be the aggressor. He's got a drop ready on the left and his main army ready on the right.
Yeah, good old multi-prong, always effective. We don't have that many zealots out right now for MaxPax, so those Archons don't have that much of a buffer. Those Immortals can definitely be a little bit vulnerable to the tanks, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're going for a massive warp. Meanwhile, here comes the Phoenix that lifts up every single tank. But as we mentioned before, the Phoenix's count is very low. Phoenixes are shut down, and Clem, he holds onto the front lines at the same time. Big warp into the main base is getting some damage done, but Clem is quick to pull away.
Yeah, most of his SCVs will live. Still losing a couple more than I'm sure he would like to at this stage of the game. Clem being very well aware that he is a little bit behind economically, but he survived the assault, the multi-prong assault, and he's still got a good enough army, I think, that he can try to push out and go for a counterattack.
Wow, I love that Clem is using the Vikings to defend his main base. He shut down the Prism, and he's killing the Zealots as well, using the SimCity against MaxPax. You can see that MaxPax was waiting for the Bio Army to respond, and if Clem had defended with his Marine Marauder in the main instead, then MaxPax would have gone for the tanks. But alas, Clem, he maintained his position, and MaxPax did not find an opening.
No, he did not. Who needs Bio when you got Vikings?
Yeah, exactly. So again, just really good uses there from Clem. On top of that as well, you mentioned it yourself, there's no Colossus yet. So, I mean, you don't have to retain those Vikings after they kill the Phoenixes or most of the Phoenixes, then the use is a little bit more limited. So again, good uses there by Clem. As he's defended, he's now looking to take a fourth base and break out.
I think MaxPax is going to have to let him.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to. Like, he's being active here, wants to try to take a fight where he can, but we'll see if he can, because this time it's going to be mainly a main army engage instead. MaxPax is going for a Zealot Rama on the left-hand side, though. Going for the tanks. Oh!
Yeah, tanks looking very exposed. They are spread out, so a little bit of friendly fire to be had. But one Archon will go down, and that's going to be the end of that run by Clem. Now repositioning deal of the main army.
Yeah, exactly. Clem can now focus on the main fight. Meanwhile, the Phoenix count, I believe, was completely reset, so no more Phoenixes left here for MaxPax. They'll still have the Prism, tool models as well, and MaxPax can still try and take a fight here outside of range of those tanks. Storm's coming in.
Yeah, slowly but surely the High Templar are moving into position. There are no ghosts here available for Clem, but we actually don't have Storm yet. We don't have Storm!
No!
MaxPax only now starts researching it!
Oh, that is a mistake. That is a slip up. I'll be honest, I didn't notice Storm being researched either, so I just assumed that he had it because he had all those High Templar ready, but clearly that was a slip up there. We have Colossus now on the way, second Robo, Storm as well. MaxPax, he is scrambling for splash damage.
I was wondering so much why MaxPax was like being so conservative with his High Templar, because it was like, okay, they're moving in position. They're moving in position. You can still throw down a Storm to try to zone away the Bio Army, but yeah, apparently he just didn't have Storm. I thought he was waiting for just the right moment when he could splash every single unit, but yeah, no, it wasn't the case.
That is brutal. Now, thankfully, Storm is about to finish, and at least he has High Templar gathering energy this entire time, so he will have it ready for the next big fight. But that did mean that MaxPax could not stop the fourth base from getting up and running. As a result, Clem, he's maxed out. He shuts down the Prism.
Yeah, those Vikings, once again, just proving invaluable in the defense.
And nice EMP on the Zealots. EMP doesn't quite connect with the Archon, but at the same time, the main army is going to be clashing. Storms do come in.
Yeah, huge EMPs on the Archons, but unfortunately not landing on the High Templar, so Clem does take a little bit of a storming in that choke point.
So let's take the first storm there. Meanwhile, we do see MaxPax getting his fifth base up and running. Clem has yet to really move past the halfway point of the map here. Has been kept at bay for the time being. MaxPax is keeping up and now building up more Colossus. Finally, some more consistent splash damage on the way for MaxPax.
Yeah, doesn't have to worry about just randomly getting his High Templar EMP'd. Always have a backup.
Exactly, it does have them being incorporated, rotating on the right-hand side, tank looking exposed. At the same time, the concave is brutal.
Yeah, those are some good EMPs. We still have 1-2 storms landing, but it's not going to be enough. The Vikings still survive, and they are able to chip away at these Colossus, while more than enough of a ground army remains to deal with all these Stalkers. Minefield going to be not quite taking out these Zealots, but battering them and weakening them enough that the reinforcements will be able to clean it up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Clem wasn't pushed in.
Yeah, he's getting ready though, and again, there's barely anything to defend. There's one Colossus, soon to be 3, there's 2 more on the horizon, but they still need a little bit more time, a couple more seconds. Clem, he does not like what he sees, he pulls away, defends back at home, now he can focus on his main push, and now there is 0 High Templar, 0 Storm remaining here for MaxPax.
Yeah, Clem is now maxed out. He's maxed out with a much stronger army. MaxPax, it'll take him a while to get all his disruptors, to get his... Well, I think he's satisfied with 3 Colossus, but yeah, get all his disruptors, get more Zealots out and whatnot before he can really hit his final form.
Yeah, speaking of final form, Clem, because he's maxed, now we have a second starport on the way. Fusion core as well, that should be for liberated range. And freedom is soon going to be upon us as Clem is working in that direction. Nice pickoffs here out of MaxPax, does catch a couple of Marines, a medevac here or there. Some nice little pickoffs, but again, he just has to try to buy time for himself as Clem is getting a bit out of hand.
Yeah, he's hit that form, right? Where he was been contained for so long in this game. He's had his rage just building slowly his power levels, and now he's broken out and he is everywhere on the map at once.
Yeah, he is unbound, and we'll see if he can be stopped. I mean, MaxPax did spot the move out, so he splits up his army. He has 2 forces on left and right hand side. Big EMP connects!
Yeah, right in the heart of that army. The shield battery gets taken out just as Overcharge gets popped. This is a really good position for MaxPax, though, getting the maximum splash damage from that Colossus.
MaxPax, he does defend, he does hold on. Scan into the main base. Basically, Clem is looking for Sky Toss. He's looking for any kind of Sky Toss transition. He confirms there is no Fleet Beacon, there are no Stargates. He is safe to commit to Mass Lit.
Freedom is upon us.
Freedom is on the way. 5 Liberators at a time. And MaxPax will get a CC. Not bad. Very nice pick up here as a command center is going to be killed. It won't be able to escape. Won't be able to float away.
Yeah, it doesn't even burn down. Just gets taken out immediately. That's an insanely quick EMP coming out from Clem. Just seconds. Half a second after scouting that army coming out from the shrubbery.
Just like that. I believe the Colossus count just got reset. That's 2 Colossus falling. Now we just have to get rid of these Vikings. Vikings are a little bit less useful at this point, and they're more or less dead supply. We'll see if MaxPax can go across the map and manage to harass with them.
Yeah, it's definitely a way. I mean, so far MaxPax has been taking a bit of a beating, but he's had a good enough economy that even though there's been a couple of breaks, right? There's been a couple of like production lulls. He technically has enough resources to sustain the army losses that he's taken.
Yeah,
it's land of Vikings and a mineral line, though. Put an absolute stop to that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Clem has been fighting better, but MaxPax has been able to expand, and his economy hasn't really been touched until now. Finally, Liberator Harass has arrived. 9 probes going down. Main armies almost do clash in center map as well, but Clem is finally dealing a blow to the economy of MaxPax.
And actually forcing him to remake Phoenixes, which is not ideal at this stage of the PvT.
Yeah, it's not the kind of best unit to be investing into, as he does have that one Phoenix. Meanwhile, Disruptor's getting caught out.
Yeah, so start getting caught up, and so it goes. But Cloak was researched a while ago, and Clem is going to be able to escape with these ghosts. He also scanned earlier on. He saw those DTs, so yeah, he knows that he needs to be on high alert for that. Phoenixes just do not do any damage against Liberators.
Yeah. They're not ideal anti-air. As here we go, the Vikings are in position, and oh my god, the army just crashes into a brick wall.
This feels like the last hurrah, or a Hail Mary play from MaxPax. It's a lot of losses. He does get the base in the end, but still sustains a lot of losses. And important to note, even though he's been mining a lot of minerals, he has very low gas income. MaxPax, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. He's just been burning through that gas, rebuilding Disruptor after Disruptor. It does eat into his bank over time, likewise the DTs as well. And we can see Clem is stimming on forward, getting himself the Robos. The Disruptor is the only thing keeping MaxPax in this game, and he needs to hold on to those Robos.
He really, really does. This one pylon behind the Nexus is an absolute hero pylon. It's doing its best to keep the, I would say, main production facilities of MaxPax alive. I mean, he's got his gateways in the main, but that's not really the important production building for him right now.
Yeah, Z-Star Templar, they've been doing a lot of work here. They killed a base earlier. They've gotten so many SCV kills as well. Clem, his working out is not ideal, but he has a massive bank to work with, so he can afford these losses. DTs are being shot down, and now Clem, he's going for the main fight. He wants it.
And he's trying to force it. MaxPax going to retreat at the first sign of trouble, but every time he retreats, a couple of disruptors in the back line, a couple of stalkers in the back line inevitably get taken out.
Yeah, stalkers, disruptors as well. Some rough losses for MaxPax. He's still trying to find a way up this ramp, but there are so many more Liberators this time. That's a lot of freedom.
That's a lot of freedom. I'm not convinced we have enough stalkers to deal with all of them. Hot pickup, we're going to be saving this bio, and especially these ghosts from the Purification Novas, as another disruptor falls in the retreat.
Yeah, exactly. It's just been an uphill battle for MaxPax. Despite his economy looking solid, the fights have been brutal for him. As Here We Go does push forward, Liberation has arrived once again, and MaxPax, he just cannot fight into this.
Yeah, literally and figuratively, right? It's been an uphill battle for MaxPax trying to get on this high ground.
And just hasn't been able to. Liberation zones being set up. Novas go off. They zone away the army, but the freedom is too much. And oh my god, that's a lot of shots going off.
It's a lot of shots going off. That's like the perfect position as well for Clem to be in. It's so difficult for Protoss to get on top of these Liberators with only Stalkers when they're in the dead air like that.
Exactly, and MaxPax never had the opportunity to embrace Sky Toss, was never able to really get there in the end. As we can see, Clem keeping up with these rotations. There is a Prism coming into the main, Zella DT run by on the right-hand side. These counterattacks are the really only chance that MaxPax has, but Clem is keeping up for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, does leave his main base a little bit exposed, so a quick little warp in is gonna threaten the production.
That's a lot of disruptors. But it does threaten the production.
Yeah.
Another warp in does continue, but we have Liberation back at home. And you see Clem, he wants that main fight. He avoids, he does respect those Purification Novas. But the Gateway Army is slowly crumbling before Clem.
Like so, and yeah, MaxPax just doesn't have enough gas to really retake it. It's always funny seeing the CC float into position and see that there's another base there already.
Yeah, there is another expansion. Again, we spoke about it before, but MaxPax, his bases and his economy has been solid throughout this entire game. He has money. He's had a lot of money to work with, but these fights have been brutal, and it's the quality of the army as well just hasn't been able to compare to all these Liberators.
No, they have not.
Oh no! The Disruptors!
Pretty much all of them going to be caught in the middle of a liberation zone, and the Bio not quite able to stim for it yet, but this one Marauder putting in so much work with Concussive Shell. Almost every single Disruptor gets taken out, and the Gateway forces of MaxPax are not too far behind.
Yeah, that was what, 6 Disruptors going down in the blink of an eye. That was a massive loss for MaxPax. At the same time, 17 probes, a base as well, one of the most important mining bases of MaxPax. You can see here just having a glance at the units lost tab as Clem keeps on pushing forward.
That's some efficiency. Clem with barely half the minerals lost, and I think it was 3 times fewer gas losses.
Jesus.
Insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why Clem has a bank. Even though MaxPax has had a better economy, has been mining for more for longer, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore as Clem is getting out of hand.
Yeah, who needs to... you don't need... Fun fact, you don't need to replace your units if they just don't die.
True.
Huge warp in getting cancelled right in front of our eyes, and that looks like it's going to be one of the final nails in the coffin here. I mean, Clem has just so much momentum. He's an avalanche that's crashing right on top of what remains of MaxPax.
The Malam cannot be stopped, cannot be contained as another base and another base go down. MaxPax going for a desperation base trade, it looks like. I mean, that's maybe the only chance that MaxPax has. The War Prism gets shut down, and this is his army. No more Disruptors, only Zealots and Stalkers.
Yeah. And finally, Clem is able to put a dent in MaxPax's economy. He's barely mining anything. All he has left is all that he's got. And they're not going to be here for too much longer.
Yeah, we have a random Colossus in the mix as well. I mean, it can help. It can add some support, definitely, but again,
it's providing high ground vision.
It helps. You can look over the wall.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're still going to have a fight. We're still going to have these armies face off, and all the vision in the world isn't going to help you when you just do not have enough damage. When there's that much damage on you, GG is called. Clem will get the double 2-0, and he's looking set to all kill, man. Things are looking very dire for Psystorm Na'Vi.
It's looking rough here. GG, well played. Clem looking dominant here in this series. MaxPax making some uncharacteristic mistakes, maybe a little bit nervous here in a big event like WTL. Maybe a little bit nervous going up against Clem now in a new form, now at his peak. And
now with
Clem.
the mane, now with hair.
He's crazy. He's peaky. And with that, Clem's still looking unstoppable, undeniable here as the best player in the world. And we'll see if Gerald can step up to the plate and cause an upset.
Yeah, he needs to win at least. Well, here's the thing, right? He needs to win at least one map to take out Clem and prevent the all kill. But then he if he falls, if he drops even one map there to Clem, then sure, we're going to have somebody else in the next round, but then we'll also be having Psystorm Na'Vi on their last breath, on their last legs.
Yeah, exactly. And there he is. Gerald is going to be stepping to the plate here. He's going to be stepping up, and it's not going to be easy, Pappy. It's not going to be easy for anyone to bring Clem down. The pressure is on. As you mentioned, a 1-1 score is not going to be ideal for Psystorm Gaming or Psystorm Na'Vi. They need Gerald to pull off a miracle and get a 2-0.
That they do. I think Mana really said it best when he said that, sure, even if Clem falls, the rest of the Team Liquid roster is strong enough that so long as they have even a slight advantage coming into this series, they are just gonna be feeling so confident and so their chances of winning at this point forward, even if Clem falls, is I think 80% at least. Realistically looking closer to 95.
Yeah, exactly. As is being stated in the chat, yes, Psystorm Na'Vi have a revive if Geralt were to fall. That is true. With that revive, they have options. They could revive Geralt, they could revive MaxPax, they could even go for Spirit as well. I feel like a lot of it is going to come down to the confidence that the players have when it comes to going up against their eventual opponent. But we'll get there.
Yeah, potentially.
Have
we ever seen a revive all kill though in WTL?
That is a
We've seen
rarity.
a couple of all kills in the past, but a revive all kill that hasn't happened yet to my memory.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. But
I like how.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I like how Skillus and Cure, they're both in the same direction there.
Oh, we did have a revival kill. That was last season. That was Team Liquid versus Basilisk, where Raynor 2-0'd a laser, 2-0'd Cure, went 1-1 with Clem, and then Clem was revived and he 2-0'd everyone.
Okay.
So Clem has done that before, but now it has to be done to Clem is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's been kind of his tagline for so long in WTL, right? Clem, the problem.
True. He is the problem, and can
Problem
anyone?
that few players have a solution to.
Yeah, can anyone deal with the problem? That is the question. As here we go, we're getting ready for our next best of two. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who or how you think the series will unfold. And whether we get an extended series here, can Clem be brought down? And can Skillus and Cure play a game? Will they be allowed to play?
They had to wake up, or Skillus had to wake up, and Cure had to stay awake. It's like, bruh, we could be in bed right now.
Oh no. Not like this, as Clem so far is doing all the heavy lifting. So far.
Yeah. On his shoulders, just like so. Mustache.
It's the mustache and beard combo. That's what it is.
Yeah. So here, combos in the bottom left-hand corner, we have a blue Terran player for Team Liquid. It's Clem. And he's going Lem.
Yes. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Gerald for Psystorm Na'Vi. Okay, here we go. And again, the pressure is on. Again, there is a revive available. True, there's a revive available for Psystorm. But again, we're hoping to try to give whoever's revived the best chance possible here. Gerald, can he bring Clem down? For now, shout out to the sponsors, Pew, Autofool, as well as SC Boy and Doyu. Big shout out. Without them, this event wouldn't be possible.
Yeah. I just gotta shout out to Doyu for your coin needs. Pew for... Okay, we're off them now. We lingered for a little while, yeah.
So I said in the chat, Gerald, small room, short hair, no beard. Just the world is against him, Pap.
I just realized, is that his bed in the background? Because at first I thought it was a sofa. Not
It
gonna lie.
could be a sofa bed, like both, you know,
Yeah, it could be.
combination.
It could be like a pull-out
Yeah.
that extends. I had one of those for a little while before getting my hospital bed.
Ah, is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
Well, at a certain point, I realized that I was too lazy to pull the
Bed out?
bed back in.
Oh, okay.
No, to pull it back in.
Okay.
Because here's the thing: it wasn't a pull-out where it's like a single bed initially, and then you pull it out, it becomes a double. It was a chair, and then you pull it out, and then it becomes a bed.
Are you saying?
Literally. You could
Wait,
only
hold
sit
on, hold
it
on, hold
unless
on.
you pull it- unless you pull
You're
it
saying
out.
it's a chair
I
that you
actually
pull
still
out.
have- I actually
Were you-
still have it in my
Yaku,
room.
were you sleeping in a recliner? Is that what that was?
No. Well, no, it doesn't recline.
Okay.
It's normally you fold it in two and it's a chair, and then you unfold it and it's a bed.
There's unfoldable chair
I still have it
beds?
in I still have it in my room. I use it to put my I use it to put the keyboard on, the piano on.
Yak, I'm looking this up and I'm seeing recliners, Poppy. I'll be honest.
It was from IKEA.
Okay.
Or chair bed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a chair bed.
Okay.
It didn't recline. It pulled up and out.
Okay. I'm glad to hear you have a proper bed there. I'm glad to hear. Oh, God. As Clem does knock himself over the wall, trying to get a full scalp, but alas, the Reaper will will be zoned away. Back at home, I believe Gerald is going to be going for a Stargate opener. Interesting. Mixing it up. Double Stargate.
Okay.
Up.
Okay.
Show us what's he seeing? Why are we seeing the player faces? What's happening? Did he see?
Because we have to see the reaction.
What?
Because we have to see the reaction.
Did he scout?
I'm not sure what I'm not sure what exactly it was that elicited that
What?
reaction from
What?
Gerald, but
Did he?
I'm not sure exactly what elicited that sigh reaction from Gerald, but as we can see here, Clem did scout it.
Wait. I tried not to haze the production team too much or too often, but mate, come on. We're like, oh, he's gonna scout. Then we zoom in on the faces, guys.
Well, here's the thing, because, well, yeah, it's cinematic, right? Because you know that he's gonna get scouted. We have to see what the reaction to the scout
We
is.
didn't know though. We didn't know. I mean, now he knows.
Well, it's implied. Well, it was implied. It was heavily foreshadowed.
God damn it. Alright, here we go. We're settling in, and again, Clem is fully aware of the double Stargate Mass Phoenix build of Gerald, and he's applying so much pressure going for the Pylon. Pylon is under fire. Phoenixes will shut down the initial Widow Mine. Not bad.
Yeah. Will prevent a little bit of momentum, but unfortunately, with this high ground vision, with this drop, yeah, Clem is still going to be able to depower that gateway, which actually I think it's all the gateways that Gerald has.
Oh, yeah, as the gateway is depowered to get behind the mineral line. I mean, the Phoenixes will eventually clean this up and shut this down, as the Cyclone will fall, and so will the rest of the drop. But at least Clem is able to get a couple of worker kills, get a full scout. Back at home, he's amassing up Marines, Stim, and Vikings.
Yeah, we'll confirm that Gerald is in fact dedicated to, or committed to, Phoenix play. As for now, yeah. I was gonna say, as for now, Geralt just has to lick his wounds a little bit and recover from here. He hasn't lost his Phoenixes, so even though he took economic damage, he can still go across the map and commit to his opening, but he needs to reciprocate the damage.
Yeah, doesn't need to reciprocate here, as the Phoenixes, they do rotate between the bases, but alas, we have plenty of anti-air. Again, Clem has had a lot of time to respond and to react to what he has scouted, and so far, so good. He does split up his army. Turrets are now on the way as well, and we'll be losing one of those Vikings. Not bad.
Yeah, a lot of Marines starting to fall as well. Nice little bit of multi-prong here from Gerald. Hasn't quite been able to get into a mineral line. Is the
Yeah.
thing.
Very nice cash there again. Because of the Adepts, Clem could not reinforce his main base, and Gerald did take advantage of him. Likewise, Marines move out of position. Can we get the tank? Up! Oh my god.
We're gonna not quite be able to. Phoenix running out of energy in just the last second there.
Barely wasn't able to pick it up with the Mass Phoenix. Still have potential. Widow Mines have been set up, so we have to, of course, respect those Widow Mines. They're in the main. Likewise, boys being pulled. They do top up that tank, and Clem is holding.
Yeah, once again, hasn't taken any major damage. He lost a lot of Marines earlier on, which is never ideal, but hasn't lost any of his tanks, which are more important.
Yeah,
Or SCVs.
Exactly. The economy has been maintained. Clem is looking solid. Third CC's on the way, so it will eventually break out. I mean, has already broken out at this point, has massed up enough anti-air, and Gerald does have to respect the main army. Clem actually going for a push.
Yeah, right down the center of the map. Does scout the Phoenixes and considers for a second.
The tanks!
Considers for a second taking them out, but the pathing will split these tanks apart. One of them gonna fall, and now Clem has a decision to make.
Yeah, he has to decide, does he keep on pushing, does he turn back home? We're going to be trading with the Phoenixes. One Phoenix does fall, and Clem has been heavily delayed, and I believe there's now one Colossus back at home to defend.
Indeed, there is, and with only a single tank, it's going to be a little bit tricky to really apply pressure on the Protoss defenses from here.
Yeah, there's an overcharge, we have sentries, we have force fields as well, the Marines are going to be zoned away, Immortals pushing forward, and that tank is under fire.
Tank is under fire, but it's under fire from the Colossus, so actually drawing away some of the splash damage from the bio. Oof. A little bit of a wince there coming out from Gerald as he loses his Phoenixes. Oof. Big oof.
Guys, do we need to see the faces of?
Well, look. That's how we get our gifts.
We didn't see the mine
That's
connection.
how we get our reaction gifts. We don't need the mine connections. It was implied.
God damn it! The production team is
saw
having too
the
much
Widow
fun.
Mine tracking, and then we could piece
It's
together
like
what happened.
we're being edged right now. It's like, oh, the mine shot. Oh, it's gonna connect. Oh, and then switch to there. They would have switched to Gerald's face. that's basically what's happening. What's going on?
There's a very not safe for work analogy that I want to reiterate on with that,
no.
and I'm gonna bring that up right now.
God damn it!
Yeah, we're kind of getting blue balled a little.
We are.
Well, it depends. Are you here to see the mine shot, or are you here to see the reaction to the mine shot?
We can see both. We just right now we can see both. That's fine.
Yeah, but you don't get it zoomed in. You don't get the full, you don't get to see the full extent of the pain and of our players dying inside.
God damn it. We're settling it.
Yeah, we're calming down.
God damn it. Phoenixes, they do rotate over, try to catch the reinforcements. The last nice EMP. Oh, the Phoenixes are getting caught out.
Yeah. And those Phoenixes could try to fight against the Vikings, if not for those EMPs. So, yeah, Clem really forcing some movement here out of Gerald. And now he's coming to the push.
At this one, I just want the fight to start, and I just want them to pan to Clem's face. God damn it.
At this point, I just want to see both faces side by side, and we can guess who wins the engagement.
God damn it.
I don't even want to see the GG. I just want to see the reaction, and we can guess.
Where it's going to happen, I'm sure.
Who won.
At some point this weekend. So you see Clem Dens with the main army. Did have some decent Colossus swipes going off on those Marines, but last Nova is avoided. That was the only Nova.
Yeah, will get dodge.
Yeah,
and with that, Clem, he just has so much momentum. I mean, look at that army supply difference. 104 versus 44.
Yeah, again, it was just the one
Clem is a big
disruptor.
army.
Phoenixes, they went down earlier, so little support for the main army, and Gerald, he loses control of the fourth base, and we can just keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, Clem could at this point take a disruptor shot to the face and still have enough to keep this push going.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit too much momentum, and
Yeah.
This time there's no fight.
Dang.
Okay. This time I can understand the player shall I say it's okay. It's okay. You win this time, WTL.
Yeah. But the next time, we're gonna win by not being able to see the game.
God damn it. As Clem rotates, and again, his win condition is deny the fourth. Deny the fourth base over and over again. Contain Gerald until Clem can reach his final form. +1 ship weapons on the way. We do pick up another stray unit.
You say until Clem hits his final form, but at this point, he's so far ahead that he might as well be at his final form, right? He's like so advanced in the tech tree or in his position that even though it's not quite endgame, it looks like it's endgame.
Yeah, I mean,
from
pushing
this position.
pushing into disruptors is never easy, but once Clem is maxed out, I mean, you can afford to trade units.
Speaking of which, Clem is now maxed out.
And there we go. He does cancel the fourth base once again. Just rotating over and over again. We see Gerald expanding on the right-hand side, dipping out with his army, but again, is looking quite vulnerable.
Yeah, Colossus in the middle of the map. Clem does get eyes on them. A little bit of a preemptive split, but I think that was actually hurting him a little bit.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Storm will catch some of the army.
I was
and-
gonna say.
Yeah, see the face of Gerald. You don't even need to see the fight. You know it's not going well for Protoss.
Glad you brought it up. As we do see Clem rotating around. And will we see the final fight? We might not. It might happen, but we might not even see it. We'll see.
I don't think we even need to see it, you know?
Copium. As the Vikings go to town, the Colossus go down. Nice storm here on the buy from behind. The army is softened up, but there's just barely anything left here for Gerald as we snowball out of control. GG gets called, and Clem takes game number 1.
GG. I'm disappointed we didn't get a zoom in there. Gerald, he's a very expressive player.
Yeah. Clem can be as well, every now and then. You know?
Yeah, he can, but unfortunately tonight we haven't seen him like die inside yet. He hasn't been put in that position yet, so yeah, we're not getting as many zoom ins compared to his opponents.
It does feel like, for the most part, the SC Boy production team they wanna show that more than like a pop off, you know. I'm always reminded of
Look, we know he's gonna pop off. It's better at this point just to look at the what's the opposite of a pop off? A pip in.
Excuse me.
What's the opposite of a pop off? Right, a pip in. What's the opposite of pop? Hold on, rock. No, rock is not the opposite of pop. They're related.
What are you saying right now?
Look.
But yeah, I'm always reminded of last season. Whenever, and I guarantee you it's gonna happen again when we cast Weibo Gaming. But last season and even this season as well, whenever Oliveira took a bad fight, they would zoom in on Oliveira's face.
Yeah. He would just sigh and shake his head a
Like
little.
SC Boy, they're relentless with Oliveira. Absolutely relentless.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah. I mean that's what you do, right? To your boys.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like I
The
understand.
family.
I understand why. It's just
Yeah.
it's just noticeable because it just keeps happening. It's like, guys, calm down. But here we go. We are getting ready here for our next game. Gerald, it is this map of choice, and we're loading in on Oceanborn.
Very standard map, very popular map pick, consistently from Gerald, so I understand. And speaking of understanding, over here in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Terran player for Team Liquid. Can we get the zoom in? It's Clem.
Yeah. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have for Saisom Navi, Gerald.
I appreciate Thorn in the chat helping me with my finding my words, but unfortunately, the minute you asked me what I was talking about, I suddenly realized that I didn't know what I was talking about.
God damn.
But no, because you said, "Are we waiting for the pop off?" And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Well, what's the opposite of a pop off? You know,
Yeah, Pippin.
an unpop in apparently." Oh no, what's the opposite of off on? Yeah, an unpop on.
Uh-huh.
I'm. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So figured it out. We figured it out. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the unpop on.
He figured something out. As we are going to be jumping into game number 2 here. Again, it was a very creative build out of Gerald in game 1, winding it back. Remember, he went double Stargate Phoenix. I mean, it was a wild start of the game, and had potential as well. Was able to contain. Clem was able to catch some nice units, catch some nice value as well with Marines, with some Vikings here and there. But eventually, we did see Clem catch out the Phoenixes, gain map control himself, and because he had invested so heavily into Mass Phoenix, that did end up allowing, or did make the Grand Army suffer as a result, and there was not much to support the Colossus, to support the Robo production, and when you commit that hard to Phoenixes, you do need more damage. You need to gain a little bit more value there as the Protoss player.
Yeah. Which unfortunately was not. Yeah, I mean, it was never going to be easy for Gerald, but especially after being contained so hard on 3 bases, it looked nigh impossible.
Yeah, I think you pointed out at the time where even though Clem was losing like maybe a Viking here and there or some Marines here and there as well and was being contained, he was never really losing any SCVs, right? Like he was never, the Mass Phoenix was never able to get into a mineral line and never really able to allow Gerald to take a further economic lead. So yeah, unfortunately he just wasn't able to get what he was really looking for.
Yeah. I mean, do we ever? I mean, you know, sometimes we're looking for these massive, like, juicy mine shots, and instead, we get a zoom in on a player cam.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. Does happen. Behind this Twilight Council, going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Gerald. So this time we're going to be coming back to normalcy here, more of a standard setup, working towards Blink. I imagine.
Yeah.
Are you feeling DTs?
I am. But that might just be, might just be hunger-induced.
Have you had breakfast today, yeah?
Technically, yes. I had half a bowl of noodles.
Half a bowl of noodles?
Half a bowl, because it was,
Leftovers?
noodles that leftovers.
Yeah, leftover noodles?
Yeah,
Yako.
it's half a bowl.
Yako, let's go. Let's go.
Okay, I got up at 5 p.m.
Uh-huh.
The thing, so...
Okay. Not even a full bowl of noodles?
I mean, I had to eat what was available. You know?
Yeah, I'll send you some of my ramen, okay?
Yeah,
I'll fax you some of my
I'm not
shit
sure
ramen.
if I want. I'm not sure if I want your mild noodles.
Okay.
I've seen the instant noodles you eat. You sent us a picture.
I think yeah, I've got like a shelf of like different kinds.
Yeah.
Got all the noodles.
I'm not sure what pork mama noodles would even look like, let alone taste like.
True. I got like everything. Some was better. There was some that was better than others.
You have
I will
mild
say.
Jin ramen at one point.
Yeah. Shin ramen. Mi goreng.
Yes. Oh, which kind? Indomie? Or
Yeah.
Ibumi?
The regular
Indomie.
kind.
Okay.
We've had this discussion before. I think you told me that there was like a prawn flavor or something, and I was like, what?
Prawn flavored mee goreng? No. Shin ramen. It's shrimp.
Oh yeah,
shrimp
that's what you're
shin
saying.
ramen,
Yeah. That sounds
Yeah, which is
crazy to
awful.
me. Okay.
Which is absolutely terrible. Like, never buy it.
Okay, I've never seen it before. It's crazy.
There's also like a gourmet beef broth flavor as well, which I've yet to try. It costs like, oh boy, it costs like I think $3 per individual packet. So
Oh my
like a
God.
5-pack, that's $50. It's the opposite of why I buy instant noodles.
Yeah. Who are they marketing to? What's going on? Just not on brand.
Well, to be fair, instant noodles is like a big deal. It's a pretty big deal here.
Okay. For now, though, we're settling into our game. It was a blink-based opener, just 2-gate blink into a third, so very safe, very economic play here from Gerald. Nothing too crazy, nothing too aggressive this time. Likewise, a Clem did open up in a standard manner as well. Now we're getting into our drop play. We have a Raven towards the natural, we have a drop into the main.
Yeah, a couple of auto turrets, and by a couple I mean literally one. Actually gets a surprising amount of SCVs.
Yeah.
Or probes. Not all of them are. Not all workers are SCVs, as much as I wish it were so.
Yeah, he gets 3 probe kills at the natural. Meanwhile, the mine drop in the main was denied. So very nice positional play out of Gerald. He does deny the drop. But we do see Clem is moving out across the map. Gerald building up his Colossus. Has 1, soon to be 2 Colossus. With a shield battery and an overcharge, Gerald should be okay at the third base, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. This is enough to hold, but
Oh my god.
that's assuming that everything is in position. Nice split here from Gerald, not losing any of his probes. I don't know why I referred to them as SCVs again. Freudian slip, you know. I like to imagine all workers as SCVs. Is the thing. Yeah. I like to imagine that all workers are boys. You know.
Alice, how can you pull the boys as Zerg or Protoss? True.
Yeah.
As the tanks are getting in position, likewise getting within range of the Gas Geyser. This is one of the positions you can abuse here on Oceanborn. Gas Geyser under fire. Colossus somewhat in position, but here comes a drop.
Oh, yeah. This is one of the positions that you can absolutely take advantage of on Oceanborn, but for some reason I feel like Clem is the only one who consistently... Oh, that's not true. I think Oliveira does it as well. Yeah, those are the only 2 Terran players who consistently use this position.
You're only 2. No one else. No one else. Not allowed.
Ryung will every now and then, Hero Marine will every now and then, but not consistently.
As Clem is going to rotate around, again, as so far managed to find himself with a very nice supply lead. Zealot Rambai is going to be shut down. I mean, the Observer was able to see how vulnerable the location was, but Clem did have plenty of reinforcements, and... oh boy, now we can finally focus on moving out across the map. I mean, Gerald is looking solid back at home on 3 bases, but can Gerald hold on to his 4th? That's the big problem. That's the big kind of point of contention.
And if you recall, that was what game number 1 was really predicated on, of whether or not Gerald would be able to get a 4th up and running, and because he wasn't, eventually it went Clem favored. But that's a nice little pick off.
Yeah, full medevac goes down, but the tanks have sieged up and we're collapsing on the 4th base location. Nova goes off, but no connections, and we do force a cancel.
And once again, Geralt just continuing to be contained.
Yeah, and this is brutal. Geralt does need a 4th, but the win condition for Clem is deny the 4th. Deny the 4th over and over and over again. Clem does have the supply lead, does have a split army already, and it's not going to be easy for Geralt.
To say the least, especially not when we have Marines in position to confirm the 4th base being retaken. Or mines to even deny another one. Good lord.
Yeah, so Clemmy does confirm he now has his next target. He's waiting for reinforcements, so we have a 4th CC on the way for Clem, and we should soon be seeing a move out as well, this time with Ghosts.
Yep. Ghosts, a couple of additional Vikings for support against these Colossus, and pretty much every unit that Clem is building at this point is a unit designed to counter what Geralt has on the field. Double drop being set up into the natural base, and thankfully Geralt does have a couple of reinforcements back home.
Yeah, we do have the double drop towards the mineral line. Meanwhile, Geralt's slowly pushing forward, gaining some value with those mine shots, going for the Dark Shrine as well, getting ready for the for the Invisible Man DTs.
Yeah. Anytime, but especially when you're behind. A couple winter mines now being set up. Quick reaction from Gerald, but I think he might have underestimated the damage potential of 2 mines.
Yeah, as Clem is about to max out. I mean, the mine drop did do quite a bit of damage to the Zealots, 5 probe kills as well. fourth base is getting saturated, but Clem will soon move out across the map. Is being pinned back at home because of the Zealot counterattacks, but the Zealots have been found.
Yep. They have been found, and they will be taken away. I don't really recall. I don't believe Gerald has a warp prism, so yeah, he's just warping them in at home and then letting them hoof it across the map.
I mean, they're hoofing it. Like, they
are. Yeah.
Making their way towards the top right. Meanwhile, EMPs will connect. First Colossus goes down.
Oof. A nice pick off for Clem. Able to take an advantage before the fight even begins. Widowmine's going to be able to take out a decent number of these Zealots, but yeah, a couple of them still survive, but they're not really a concern, considering the Planetary Fortress just finished up.
Yeah, now the Planetary is done, and Clem can focus on his move out. Behind this, Fusion Core is on the way. +1 air attack, another Starport. Clem is getting ready for Liberators. He's not there yet, but he's working in that direction.
And just making sure he covers all of his bases before really putting the hurt on, before really committing to anything.
As Clem denies the fifth base, does force a cancel, Nova goes off, and no big connection. Storm is avoided as well. The Vikings, they want that Colossus.
Yeah, a couple of them will get hit by the storm, but in the end, it's negligible. This second storm, though, brings a lot of these Vikings down to red. God. And they will... No, I was going to say they will fall, but not before taking out a couple of Colossus, but no. They're going to survive, and they're going to kill the Colossus.
Oh my god, insane dive. Every single shot gets started down. There was some insane and crazy splits as well. Clem looking very impressive, but the storms come in. Some massive connections, and it looks like with that, Gerald, can he barely hold on? He barely can.
They're just barely, but reinforcements are on the way now from Clem. He, of course, still has all of those Vikings from earlier on. You can always try to land.
Mate, that dive was crazy from Clem. He avoided the Novas. He was able to split in time. It was very impressive stuff. Gerald will be forcing Clem back for a moment, but reinforcements are on the way. Clem does have a lot of supply tied up in these Vikings, so the numbers do lie a little bit here. Doesn't have the most efficient supply.
Yeah, but you know what? If and when he ever lands them.
Oh!
There we go.
Does land the Vikings. Liberators have arrived. We have some freedom coming in as well. There's that one disruptor. Does zone away the army. We have another Nova in the chamber.
Yeah, but only one. Gerald has to be very careful with how he sends this out. Now we have 0. But another one is on the way. These ZTs have a lot of work to do to try to bring us back into this game, to try to bring Gerald back into this game. But immediately they get scanned.
Yeah, there are scans. Oh, they are popping up for the third base, so DTs are getting a lot of SCVs. 20 workers going down. But what about the main army? Do we have another scan available as well as DTs? They do walk past those Liberators going towards the natural. At the same time, Geralt is going for the natural as well. Oof.
Like so. And at this point, there's really just nothing holding him back. GG is called, and Clem gonna be taking yet another 2-0 victory here. He is on a killing spree, and he's looking absolutely unstoppable.
Yes, the killing spree is real. Clem, he has brought down every player so far on Psystorm Na'Vi. And can he pull off the all-kill? As thankfully, Psystorm Na'Vi has one revive available. It's not over yet. The series will go on.
It shall. There's still one remaining, and that's the kind of confusing thing. I see a little bit of a confusion in the chat. That's, yeah, kind of the thing that's different about the all-kill format that they're doing here in the playoffs and the other format that they had in the group stage. During the group stage, if we had just 3 2-0s across the board, or even I think 2 2-0s off the board, then there would be no need to play off the ace match. But in the playoffs with the all-kill format, it's not so much that there's going to be an ace match, but rather that there's going to be a final chance.
Yeah, exactly. So, because of that, whoever is revived from Psystorm Na'Vi, they cannot drop a map. They cannot drop a map, at least not until it goes the distance. So, it's not an easy road to travel here. No missteps, no mistakes here from either MaxPax, Spirit, or Gerald as well. Yet to be determined, though. It's on Psystorm to field their final player.
Yeah. I feel like I did not explain that very well. What I mean is that in the all-kill format, you can look at it two ways. Either there is never an ace match because there's always going to be a revive, or there's always going to be an ace match because, you know, the revive.
Yeah, so with that, the ball is on Psystorm Navi's court. Again, they do have a choice to make. On the one hand, MaxPax would make some sense as he is, I believe, technically the highest rated player. He's the ace of Psystorm Navi. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who's more confident. Is MaxPax, Spirit, or Gerald more confident in bringing Clem down?
Yeah. I have to agree with you there. And on the one hand, I do think that, despite what we've seen so far, I do want to believe that Spirit is capable of taking down Clem, but it's like you said, it's not just Clem that we have to worry about here, right? It's whoever gets sent out right now has the 2-0 Clem, and then has the 2-0 probably Skillus, and then 2-0 probably little plug here coming down.
Yeah. They have a framed photo of Clem. You love to see it. Love to see it. But as you were saying, right, the reverse all kill is necessary, right? They have to bring down
They have
Clem.
to out Clem.
Yeah, they have to bring down Clem, bring down Cure, bring down the next player. But here we go. We have the revive, MaxPax.
Here we go. All right. Probably to be expected, but still, this is super, super important. I mean, the series earlier on did look very close until they didn't. But there's no room for missteps. There's no room for any single mistake here coming out from MaxPax.
Yeah, it comes down to this. So, for some context here, if Clem takes a game in this best of 2, even one game, that is going to be enough. So, MaxPax needs to 2-0 Clem and 2-0 everyone else.
It's not even a best of 2, is it? It's technically, I guess it is a best of 2, right? It's just that if Clem happens to win the first map,
then it ends. Yeah.
Then it's over. But anyway, here we are on Golden Aura in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We have our blue Terran player for Team Liquid looking for his all kill. It's Clem.
And in the top left, we have MaxPax for Psystorm Navi. Oh boy.
Maybe once.
Oh, good. And MaxPax, something interesting. For those who weren't here earlier today, MaxPax did go for a Stargate opener every single game so far. Every game against Clem, MaxPax opened up Stargate, went for initially map control, and did do quite well, I will say. Was able to contain and even punish and deny these attempted move-outs and attempted aggressive openers from Clem. Was able to contain him. But eventually, Clem broke out. Eventually, Clem was able to break out, able to minimize losses, and snowball out of control in the mid-game. It's been very impressive to see Clem handle these situations. So I'm curious if MaxPax will adjust, will try to react, respond, and go for something different like a Robo Opener or a Twilight Council instead.
Yeah. I think really, well, I would say that based on their earlier series, maybe the name of the game here for MaxPax is to, oh man, this is going to be a 4-hit moment. To just never let Clem break out. Yeah, just try to keep Clem contained, 4-hit. on those bases, but
yeah,
again, that's
don't
very
let him break out. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just just go Stargating and go Phoenix, and just contain. Yeah.
That's my locker room pep talk.
Good.
You just gotta contain him.
Just win the game. Just take him down. Thanks, coach. God damn it, yeah. God damn it.
You gotta get your grades up if you're gonna play.
As for now, we're going to be settling in and yet to determine our tech of choice. It's going to be a standard opener out of MaxPax. Meanwhile, we do have Clem likewise going for a CC on the low ground factory follow-up as well. And we have our tech. It is going to be, in fact, not a Stargate, a Twilight Council.
Here we go. A lot more versatile coming out here from MaxPax. I mean, yeah, the Phoenixes weren't really working out for him earlier today, so I do appreciate that he's switching things up.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to MaxPax going for a Blink-based opener. I'm just really curious what kind of Blink as well. Right, Blink can lead down a couple of different paths, 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalkers, so we'll keep an eye on MaxPax to see how economic or how aggressive he wants to be.
It's a good, nice, safe opening. Safe and versatile.
We shall see. As meanwhile, Clem is getting into his own build, of course, into his 1-1-1. No extra Raxes, no crazy 3 racks or anything like that. I'm sure Kira is watching, and he's waiting to see.
He's like, Clem, what have I've been trying to teach you this for months. I keep telling you in 3 racks. It's good. It's gonna work.
Clem's like, I'll do it.
Just like,
Clem's like, I'll do it when I lose.
yeah.
Yeah, for now, Clem is getting into his one.
Unfortunately, he hasn't lost, so
He hasn't.
we're never gonna see that build from Clem.
Smoke. As for now, we're getting into our 3-1-1.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind dropping on the right hand side.
Yeah. Kira's just like, I need you to show these guys that it is actually a good build.
Copium. Feels
It's
bad.
just
man.
that, you know.
But yeah, you are correct here in the sense that MaxPax only open up 2-gate. 2-gate Blink into a 3rd, so very economic opener out of MaxPax. With this, he's going to be at home for a little bit longer, will eventually break out, but yeah, MaxPax just focusing a lot more on just getting into the swing of things, getting into the economy, into the mid-game.
Yeah, I do think that's a little bit of a risk here. He is giving Clem a lot more room to get his push going and get ready for a bit of an earlier +1 timing compared to previously, but at the same time, this gives him a few more options when it comes to the defense.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing to bear in mind as well, as a Mind Shot goes off, takes down a Stalker, is that MaxPax went for the 3rd base before taking his gases at the natural. So again, this is pretty greedy, I would say. Very economic, very greedy play at a MaxPax. It means that his Colossus or his tech has been delayed, and we can see it's going to be Blink Stalkers into charge lots for now.
Okay. I was half expecting Robo Bay and Colossus follow-up from here, just because I do think that's the most standard response, but in this case, MaxPax is preparing something a little bit more potent, something a little bit more mobile.
Oh yeah. So far he is. Meanwhile, the Observer is getting caught out, and the Marines will barely bring it down just in time. Does not escape. Raven harassing the main, gets 3 more worker kills, and Clem is throwing down a 3rd CC. He's not going for any kind of crazy 2-base all-in, but he's in position. Big tank volleys going off, and the Stalkers, they take a lot of damage.
Yeah. Not quite able to slow this down is MaxPax.
Not quite able
As
to.
we're just building up, yeah.
Yeah, as you can
We're
see.
just building up. Clem's getting his 1-1 or +1.
Yeah, we have a gateway.
MaxPax just getting charged.
We have a gateway explosion from MaxPax getting to mass charge lots. So yeah, it's gonna be just a very heavy Zealot composition for MaxPax. I'm curious if he will tech into Colossus from here, or if he just commits. If he just commits and just doubles down on Mass Stalker Zealot, hoping that maybe Clem pushes into him.
Yeah, it's a little bit trickier to find that position as a charge lot player, but it's still possible. It's a little bit trickier to get a good concave, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, as we have our answer here, so MaxPax is indeed going for the base, so it's just going to be Blink Stalkers into Charge Shots into Colossus production. We saw actually something similar to this from Gerald in the previous series, so MaxPax is just macroing up. There's no kind of like big timing or big aggression window here for MaxPax. Does manage to get a tank here or there, but alas, is trying to get into a longer game.
Yeah, which could... This is risky, I think, from MaxPax, because I think he is feeling very confident when it comes to a longer macro game. If he's able to really get into his groove and get a bit of an earlier tech switch, but we saw something similar in Clem vs. MaxPax on Oceanborn, where MaxPax was able to get into his groove. He was able to get a bunch of bases and get a good economy, but Clem just kept trading so efficiently that in the end, MaxPax wasn't quite able to make use of all of his mining. Oh, that was a kill on the Warp Prism.
Yeah, I mean, Clem's been popping off. It's been crazy. He's going for auto-charge harass. He dropped into the main as well. He shuts down the Warp Prism. He gets a couple, like one probe here in the middle line as well. It's been very impressive, and throughout all of this, Clem's been building up.
Yeah, it was focusing down the shield battery to make the follow-up harass potentially a little bit easier, but we'll see if we even get to that point, because Clem is pushing out. He's got +1, he's working on +2, he's got Stim, he's got combat shield, he's got everything he needs. Oh no, the rally!
Oh, where's that zoom in on MaxPax's face now, huh?
Huh?
They should totally do it. Just for the memes. As we see Clem pushing forward, likewise Widowmine to set up tanks as well, and MaxPax can even push into this.
Well, it's tricky with when your Colossus is in position. The shield battery with overcharge goes down, and now Clem just has so much room to maneuver. He's going to be able to take out the third, or it's actually the fourth.
Oh my god.
Mistake.
Oh my god, the mine shots are insane! They connect with the Zelt, they connect with the probes as well, and Clem is snowballing out of control. He's pushing on forward, going for the Colossus, picking them apart one after the other, and MaxPax just cannot keep up.
I had my doubts. I really thought that Clem wouldn't be able to dive on top of that Colossus when we had all these Stalkers in here, but Clem, he just has that killer instinct. He knows when it's safe to dive, or not even necessarily when it's safe to dive. He just knows how to dive and get value out of it.
Yeah, very impressive
Terra
stuff
players,
here.
don't try that at home.
If you try yourself, you will just lose your army and the Colossus will live. It's just
I've been there. I can confirm that. I've tried that, and it has never worked out for me.
Not like this. As Clem, he got so much value out of that fight. He sniped the base, he got the mineral line, he got the high-tech units, and sure, Clem was forced back, but he's building up and getting ready for the next wave, for the next push. And alas, MaxPax is just having a hard time maintaining himself against Clem.
Now we have the auto turret harass coming back online. Nice little dodge of the Widowmine shot, but unfortunately splash damage will weaken at least one of them.
Yeah, as we do see MaxPax, he's being able to rebuild his Colossus count, that's true, but no disruptors for the time being. We're lacking any additional splash damage from the side of MaxPax. The Dark Shrine has potential. We could potentially get some damage done with those DTs, but so far it's just been really impressive seeing Clem deal with all these Zealot non-stop run-bys, whether it was here against MaxPax or against Gerald as well. Like, Clem has been all over it.
Left and right. MaxPax gonna be re-saturating that fourth base. But Clem isn't looking to... Clem is trying to make sure that he's not gonna be mining from it for long.
I mean, he's maxed.
Yeah.
Like,
he's paxed.
The supply, Poppy, is pretty crazy. The soup does... It's not lying right now, as Clem is about to max out, and MaxPax trying to keep up. DT's going for a counterattack. I mean, they could just buy some time. It's possible.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
No, I'm glad that you didn't acknowledge what I said there, because I think it's one of the dumbest things.
I did ignore it.
I think it's possibly one of the dumbest things I've ever said.
God damn
Which
it.
is saying something.
As here we go,
Yeah,
the
Colossus
overcharge
are
gets
fall.
pumped. Despite the overcharge, the Colossus, they just melt. Oh my god.
That's how much DPS we're working out with here from Clem. That's how much EMPs he had. Every single time the battery overcharge topped up a unit, the EMP was there to take it, to drain it again. GG is called, and Clem will get the all kill. GG, very nicely done. BTL Team A. Shout out.
Yeah, GG, well played. Clem does take the series, does all kill Psystorm Na'Vi. A shout out to Psystorm Na'Vi for making it this far, for making it here into the second series, for bringing down Platinum R8 and even making it to the playoffs. But Clem is on another level. Clem, he is the best player in the world. He's been on fire. He was, of course, looking unbeatable, almost unstoppable at EWC. And, you know, there was some online doubters out there being like, oh, you know, what about MaxPax? I mean, we saw it. We saw it here and now. I mean, Clem is the best and is looking crazy good.
Absolutely insane. Yet another all kill under his belt. I mean, for any player, this would be an insane result. But for Clem, just another day in the office.
And I feel a little bit bad for Skills and Cure. They're like,
they had to wake up. They had to wake up early and stay up late, respectively.
They did.
For nothing.
Well, now they can get some rest and get ready for tomorrow, as Team Liquid will take the series. They will be advancing on into the next round, into day number 2 of WTL.
Yeah, where they will be facing Shopify Rebellion. And I was maybe getting a little too ahead of myself. I was going to say they will be facing Shopify Rebellion and Weibo Gaming, but no. One opponent at a time.
Yeah.
They're going to be facing Shopify Rebellion, and Shopify, they themselves are a very solid team. You know, you have the dynamic trio. Or you have the trio, the triumvirate of Lambo, Scarlet, and Beyond. Which one of them is going to be able to take out Clem, though?
Oh, yeah.
It's the question.
Exactly. The Clem problem is still very much so a reality, and we'll see if anyone can come up with a solution to Clem. Until then, I believe that SE Boy WTL, they're getting ready for a winner's interview. I believe they're getting ready for an interview with either Mana or Clem or both. They did have an interview with MaxPax and KJ before this, so an interview is on the horizon. So they just need some time to get ready for that.
Set everything up, make sure all our mics are working and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are going to be preparing. And with that, yeah, I hope you all have been enjoying yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. Now, a bit of a PSA. We will be casting day number 3 of WTL Live, but we will not be casting day number 2 tomorrow. I mean, if you want to tune into the live broadcast of WTL day number 2, then, of course, you know, I'm sure Rotterdam is going to be casting, Wardy and some of the other English casters. We will be doing a replay cast on Sunday just before we go live with the final day, with day 3 of WTL. The reason for this is because tomorrow we have an all-day broadcast of the House Galactic Battle.
So I suppose it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise here for Spirit and Gerald.
True.
As they can now focus entirely on House Galactic.
There you go. For those that are curious, the House Galactic Battle is a big offline event happening in Poland, and we are going to be the official English casters of the event, and it's typically 12 hours, like 10-ish, 10 to 12 hours long. It's going to be a long day of StarCraft.
It's a LAN, so
yeah.
it's a full LAN tournament, so...
Yeah, it's a full LAN event in one day, so we're going to be focusing on that tomorrow. Again, that means we will not be casting day 2 of WTL Live, but we will be casting it on Sunday beforehand. So we're still going to be covering both events. We're still going to be covering every day of WTL. Just day 2 will be via replays. Just a heads up.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
It's just that day 2 will be on day 3.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. So that is just our schedule or our plan for the upcoming weekend. Our plan. It was a little bit sad to see that WTL was clashing with the House Galactic Battle Was a little bit of a shame, but
Yeah.
we make do.
We have solutions. Not to the Clem problem, but to our own problems. Well, to our broadcast problems.
There you go. To some of them. Feels Aussie internet, man. Yeah, I apologize for the stream going down earlier. It was just really weird. It wasn't even the internet, it was just the connection to Twitch. So the connection to Twitch did die on us. Did have to restart, but here we go. We have our interview.
好的，欢迎回来。那
Here
也是
we
恭喜
go.
Clem 成功的 all kill， 我们赶紧来采访一下他吧。Hello Clem， 你好，恭喜你获得了比赛的胜利，很高兴又一次采访到你了。有没有想过今天作为队伍第一个上场的选手，直接把对面所有人都给穿了，打了一个7比0 all kill？
Hello, Clem. Congratulations. I'm so glad to have you with us in this interview. The first question is, have you foreseen this all kill coming before the game started?
Hello. No, I did not, because I wasn't too sure how my form was exactly right now, because I took a little break after AWC and went on some vacation. Now I'm back, but I wasn't too sure exactly how I would perform in this match. So yeah, really happy with how it turned out.
一开始我确实是没有想到我能够达成这次 all kill， 我也不太确定我的打法是不是有没有什么问题。在 EWC 之后呢，实际上我是去休假了。那么我其实刚刚从休假回来，我也觉得今天能够达成这个结果，很高兴，我的状态还在。
状态非常非常的好。那么在打第2把比赛的时候，打 MaxPax 的第2把比赛的时候，其实上来你是有一些劣势的，但是通过自己的运营，马上就反败为胜了。可以跟我们说一下，你当时打 MaxPax 的时候，第2把的时候，当时劣势的时候，自己是如何去思考、如何去处理的呢
？The second question is about the second round versus MaxPax. Actually, you fell behind a little bit in the early game. So how did you catch up with the battle?
Yeah, it didn't start that well for me, but I also thought it wasn't like a disaster or anything. So I thought, oh, okay, if I can just keep going forward in the game and then take good trades all over the map, then it should be good. But it's usually what I try to do in these games, just try to get like some good trades, and if I trade good enough and can secure my bases, then it's a comfortable game in the end.
开始的时候确实是打得不太理想，但是我其实心里也没有特别的慌，我只是觉得，首先我这边还没有崩，稳住就行。那么慢慢跟对面进行资源置换，打到后面我觉得节奏差不多回来了，我就把整个这个局势也带回来了。
确实，其实我们从 EWC 最近这一段比赛看到现在，确实觉得你这一段时间的状态非常非常的不错，也希望你可以继续保持下去。那明天的话，你们要对阵到的对手就是 SR 了，他们队伍里面也有很多很强力的选手，比如说像 Beyond 选手，做好准备了吗
？We're glad to see you keep being so good even after the EWC. So tomorrow, the game against SR. They have strong players too, like Beyond. So, are you ready to face them?
Yeah, I'm feeling ready, especially after today. Gives some of the confidence as well that I think I need. So yeah, feeling ready. I think everyone in the team is feeling ready, and yeah, it's gonna be a cool match. Beyond is always a very scary opponent to play against, especially in the TVT. So. Gonna have to be careful about when we face him. But yeah, I think we all feel pretty comfortable. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
可以说今天打完之后，我是信心也回来了。我也知道 Beyond 是一个 TVT 非常猛的选手，跟他打可能是会对我来讲有很大的威胁。但是怎么说呢？就感觉到自己只要加一小心，应该还是没什么问题。我今天信心确实是很足。
确实，今天这场 OQ 给我们看到了你非常出色的实力，也是好好休息，期待你明天的比赛给我们带来更精彩的发挥。谢谢接受我们的采访 ，Thank you， 拜拜 Clem。
Thank you， 拜拜 ，Thank you。
好的，那我们今天所有的比赛到这里就告一段落了，也是要带大家来回顾一下我们今天的一个晋级情况。在明天6点的冒泡赛第3轮比赛当中，今天胜出的 TL 战队将会对阵到常规赛积分排名第4的 SR 战队，他们之中的胜者会对上我们积分排名第3的 WBG 战队。那明天的比赛依然是看点十足。好的，那我们今天 WTL 夏季赛季后赛的比赛到这里就全部结束了。明天晚上6点同一时间会有更精彩的比赛带给大家，那我们明天不见不散哟！大家晚安，拜拜。
And we are back. Nice little bits of insight coming out here. Interesting to hear that Clem actually wasn't sure how informed he would be coming into WTL, but hey, and I guess he has an answer now. He knows how informed he is now. Yeah, I agree with you, Lights. I do want to see the Ryung Clem rematch. The Tuna versus the Clem. Yeah, that's the final boss of TVT, right? You can beat literally every other Terran player in the world. But the only way you know that you are able to beat TVT, the only way that you know you've reached the end, is if you can beat Ryung. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to see, yeah. And of course, it's not just Clem here in Team Liquid. I mean, we were only able to see Clem.
Yeah.
I
just realized I was muted the entire time. Yeah. Well. They didn't hear what I was. Anyway, we were just discussing about how, you know, Clem has many more, I should say Team Liquid have many more series up ahead of us to make it to that rematch in those finals versus Team Vitality. And I was very quickly just going over, you know, the tiers of fans, where you're a casual fan if you want to see Clem versus Cyril. You're a bit of a higher tier above fan if you want to see Clem versus Maru, but you're a hardcore fan if you want to see Clem versus Ryung. Like that's what we all want, Papi. That's what we want.
Yeah. But will we even get to that point? I mean, I would love to see Clem versus Ryung, but let's not forget, this is a team league that we have ahead of ourselves. Team Liquid going to be facing Shopify Rebellion tomorrow, and they are no slouches. I do like Team Liquid's chances overall, though, because let's not forget, this is a stacked team. It's Clem, it's Skilless, it's Cure, it's Eleza, it's Mana. They have the heavy hitter in Clem, but pretty much everyone on that team is heavy.
Oh yeah,
They've got some weight to them.
They all got some weight to them, Papi. They're all coming in hot and heavy, and oh boy, I would not want to be some of these other teams standing before them to try to stop them from getting to Team Vitality. I mean, best of luck. Again, so I do apologize as we were muted. But
I do not.
but just to reiterate a little bit here, tomorrow we will be focusing the entire day on covering the House Galactic battle. Day number 2's broadcast for WTL, we will be going over via replays on day 3 before the day 3 main event goes live. So that is the current plan on the channel. We will have a double feature, double broadcast on Sunday to catch up on those previous matches. Tomorrow, we're going to be focusing entirely on the House Galactic battle. If you're in the chat and if you're watching both events live at the same time, if you spoil us on the House Galactic battle during the stream, you'll be timed out. So be careful. No,
Oh, is that it?
yeah, no, banned as well, most likely, if it's even
Okay.
more malicious. So do not post any
Okay, I
spoilers
was-
tomorrow while we're casting.
Okay, I was getting the dungeon ready and the
Excuse me.
the band dungeon ready.
Oh, okay.
Or I was getting
Yeah.
all right. You're lucky that Light is in charge and the one who gets to decide the punishments,
There you go. If otherwise,
the penalties.
I'll let Yaku loose on you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thanks so much everyone for the support. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, with that, I guess we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. If you wish to, you can follow us on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. You'll be notified when we go live. We did just announce a new weekly tournament, by the way. I didn't even bring it up. But
a revived weekly tournament.
Yes, exactly. So for those that are unaware, it was recently announced that Wardy was hosting a new weekly tournament on Mondays as a replacement for ESL Asia and ESL Europe. We have done the same. We've announced our own tournament as a replacement for ESL Americas. So we are doing our part. Shout out to Wardy, of course, for hosting his weekly event, which we also have permission to cast, so we're going to be casting that. Likewise, hosting our own replacement for ESL Americas as well. So even though EPT might be in the off-season, we have stepped in, we've stepped up, as we always do, to bring you as much content as we can.
And you thought we were gonna have a lull.
No
You
brains.
thought we were gonna play Divinity.
we will. Mark my words. We'll find some time. So get hype. Spread the news on social medias as well. We did make a post yesterday, or this morning even, about our upcoming events.
Yeah, try to get as many people aware of it, and try to get as many people signing up for it as well. I'm sure that there are a lot of players who would love to play in them, but might not be aware that they exist yet.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing what we can. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the House Galactic battle.
Yeah, I'll see you then in Poland.
There you go. Ciao.
Bella. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.